And he's tried to put him away with the fastball, and he's missed twice.
And this is called excitement.
And he's gone away twice, Reggie. Now he's got the inside opened up if he wants to take it.
It began on a glorious sunny day in Arizona. The Oakland Athletics, under the astute leadership of Tony La Russa, in quest of a bashing success. Confident, relaxed, and with all the components in place, the A's were as fundamentally sound as any team in baseball. 20/20 vision had one man eyeing a 40-40 ambition, and some shrewd off-season acquisitions had relieved some of Oakland's more pressing concerns.
First, we needed another quality starter. We had Dave Stewart, but that was a lot of pressure to leave on one guy. There was too much of a qualitative gap between number 1 and number 2 on our staff last year. When we looked at our farm system, the name that jumped out at us was Walt Weiss as the one guy who could come in and fill a need for us at the major league level in 1988. What that meant was that we could offer someone like Alfredo Griffin. It became clear that the Dodgers and other clubs did have an interest in Alfredo Griffin. We focused pretty quickly on Bob Welch.
The addition of Welch stretched the A's limitations even further. No question, they had their eye on a pennant.
The color of spring turned a promising shade of red in Winter Haven, Florida, as the Red Sox arrived with enviable starting pitching. But after a losing season, their chief concern was the bullpen, a subject that had sent the trade winds blowing.
One of the biggest problems we had was our bullpen. We felt the major thing to go to the winter meetings was to shore the bullpen up. And we went in with the intention of trying to find a reliever that might do that. We came back from the winter meetings with Lee Smith. We traded Calvin Schiraldi and Al Nipper for Smith, and I felt it really had shored the bullpen up considerably. I felt going to spring training that this ball club had a chance to contend. I knew the race would be tough, but I really felt that we had a chance to be in that race and be in the race all year. And so Smith, I felt, was a major part of our ball club at that time.
And so, with all the components in place, the Red Sox went north, hale and hearty and hungry for a division title.
Sweet Italian sausage, ice-cold soda.
Right here. We got them right here. Red Sox, how many?
Red Sox all the way, you know it.
Time, they say, begins on opening day. And in Boston, it began against Detroit with a barrage of strikeouts from Roger Clemens, 11 to be exact.
Crowd looking for him to strike out the side. Broken ball on the outside corner. Roger Clemens strikes out the side in the second.
By the 10th inning, with a score all even at 3, Lee Smith was summoned for the first time. But despite the pleadings of a packed house, Smith's debut was spoiled. Not up to his usual stuff, he got beaten by a home run. And suddenly, April felt like a cruel month indeed.
It is Monday, the day after Easter, and of course you have the post-holiday blahs. Things didn't go well at work, kids screaming at home, but all of a sudden you remembered. It is opening day, and all of a sudden, your pain floated away like driftwood. Play ball, a marvelous sound, was first heard in Boston as the Red Sox hosted the Detroit Tigers. And although it was a cloudy, overcast day in Boston, who cared? The umpires were set. Roger Clemens was set, struck out the Tigers' side in the second inning, had 11 Ks. That was Chet Bitter Lemon. But in Lemon's next at bat in the fourth inning, he laces one down the right field line with Pat Sheridan on the move from first base. Mike Greenwell comes up with the ball. Evans with the throw home, but Sheridan is safe, and at this point the Tigers lead it 2-0. Bottom of the fourth, Sam Little Bighorn, the young Red Sox DH, with a base hit to the right side off Jack Morris. 2-run scores. The Red Sox lead at 3-2. Top of the sixth. Boom! Matty, no. Sends one back. Look at the umbrella. Doink! Off the umbrella for a home run, and we are tied at 3. Extra innings. Lee Smith, the new stopper for the Red Sox. No, not the stopper. Alan Trammell, 2-run shot with 2 out in the top of the 10th. And the Tigers go ahead 5-3 and go on to nail it down behind Henneman, who came on for Morris. Detroit beats the Red Sox 5-3-10. Clemens had 11 Ks through 9. Morris had 9 Ks through 9. Jack Morris now 7-2 on opening days.
Opening night at the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. But before they got to the game, there was some old business to address.
At this time, Jose would like to officially present Mark with the 1987 Jackie Robinson American League Rookie of the Year Award. Congratulations, Mark. Keeping with the tradition of looking to the future without forgetting the past, the A's have decided the time is right to bring back the elephant logo.
The Pachyderm's return seemed only fitting for this monstrous A's lineup. And as opening night commenced, everyone looked to the ace of the staff, Dave Stewart, gunning for another 20-win season. Seattle went down meekly against Stewart, but as the game went on, it was an Oakland newcomer who caught LaRusse's eye.
Dave Henderson comes up to hit for his first time in Oakland A's uniform.
That ball's hit pretty well by Dave Henderson. He's got a chance, and there she goes! And what a way to break in with a ball club.
Not to be outdone, Jose Canseco christened his season.
With a line shot to left field, hit hard. That baby's out of here. Canseco got a high one and hit it higher.
Man, you thought as soon as that ball was hit, forget it. Yeah, there's no doubt that was gone.
It was obviously a game of firsts, and Dennis Eckersley joined the fun with his first of many saves.
And there it is. And that might be it. Walt Weiss shoots it over to McGuire, and the A's are in the win column on opening night of 1988.
Time now to open the notebook for This Week in Baseball's Twib Notes from around the majors. Oakland's Dennis Eckersley has picked up where he left off last year when he turned reliever and saved 16 games. This season, he's busier than ever, saving 6 of the A's first 8 wins, including all 4 of Dave Stewart's victories. Meanwhile, the A's are feeling loose these days, putting the hurt on just about everyone. Ow! Fact is, it's been all too painful trying to face Oakland's heavy hitters like Jose Canseco, who's thirsty for a third straight 30-home run season. Already he's hit 7. Canseco's clout came as no surprise, but his 8 steals sure did.
People don't realize just how complete a player Jose can be. You know, his home runs and his RBIs, they stand out, and everybody points to that. But he really can be a very good base runner. He's got a stolen base total up. He wins games for the A's with his bat, with his glove, and with his base running.
Pitching ace Dave Stewart wins games with a steady repertoire of fastballs. Last year, he joined Roger Clemens as the league's only 20-game winners, and this season jumped out to a perfect 5-0 record. Dennis Eckersley deserves a lot of the credit, having saved 4 of Stewart's 5 wins. In all, the Eck has a league-leading 9 saves, while Oakland has won 8 of 9 to stay on top of the West.
But shaking off the chill of opening day, Smith made swift work of the Tigers in his next outing. And as if to say, have no fear, picked up the first of 4 consecutive saves.
It's taken by Evans. He tugs him out for the double play. And this game is over.
Gantner called out on a breaking pitch, and Smith strikes out the side in an awesome performance in the 9th inning. Smith fulfilled his promise as the reliever the Red Sox could count on time and again. Trouble is, they never counted on Bob Stanley's preseason injury, which sidelined him for the start of the season. To make matters worse, Rich Gedman would soon join him when, 6 days into the season, he broke his toe and would be lost until the end of May. With Gedman out of action, the Red Sox clearly had to secure a new catcher. So enter Rick Cerrone, a veteran at the position, and as it turned out, a choice pickup. For openers, Cerrone arrived with a hot bat in his first 9 games, hit .424. That, plus dependable defense, made him most welcome at Fenway. The Sox got even more encouraging signs from Ellis Burks, their dashing center fielder and much talented sophomore who would ring up a .294 average and 92 RBI. Add to that 18 homers and 25 steals, and the numbers add up to a great beginning.
Ellis Burks got great skills. Ellis Burks is just a young kid, still learning the game, still getting better every day. He's just scratching the surface of his talent. He's got speed, he's got great defensive reaction on balls in the outfield, he's a good center fielder, he has a strong arm and a very accurate arm. All those skills are there. We haven't seen the best of Ellis Burks yet. That's yet to come too, I think.
But in April, he gave a good indication. Hitting .385, Burks led the Sox to a team record 14 wins, and everything seemed to fall into place. That is, until misfortune struck in Detroit on April 21st.
Ellis Burks up with the bases loaded and 2 outs. High and deep to right center field. 2 runs have scored. Owen is being waved home. Owen will score. Burks to third. He's safe at third with a triple.
That was the good news. The bad news was that when Burks slid into third, he jammed his wrist, an injury that would bother him the rest of the season and would now put him out of action for a week. Still, there was an upside to all this. That was pitching in general, and Roger Clemens in particular. Following back-to-back Cy Young awards, Clemens opened the season with a flourish, winning 8 of his first 10 games.
He's the most dominating I've ever seen. I mean, in my time, I just can't, you know, I can't compare with years gone by like a lot of people, but I just can't see anybody being more dominating in whatever era than Roger has been. He's a special talent.
We'll be in the air again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and then on Sunday at 1. Here's a high drive to deep left center field. Get out the pencil, folks, and get ready to write 2 more runs. That one is over the center field fence, and the A's lead it 6-2. A one-swing rally. Curveball, and there she goes. We've got a new game. Jose has done it again. No stride, folks. Just a little bit of a breaking ball, and let me use my big gun. The A's one-swing rally machine. Jose just saying to himself, now just get one. One that you can drive. He just drove it about as far as you can drive one. Oh, my. And stay in Baltimore. There she went. Oh, my goodness. Man alive.
Fenway's finest featured a familiar mix of veterans, led by the game's most productive hitter.
Boggs spins a base hit to left field.
Who was in search of a 6th consecutive 200-hit season.
Boggs gets his 4th hit.
With Boggs leading the hit parade, the '88 Sox would often turn to 24-year-old Mike Greenwell for the heavy lumber.
Home run, Mike Greenwell.
Greenwell's an interesting guy for the Red Sox. He was a hitter.
Here's a drive.
He was in that lineage of Red Sox left fielders starting, Ted Williams to Yaz to Rice to Greenwell, and, a left fielder who could hit.
Yorkie Way has a new hero this year, no matter what.
On the mound, Boston was fueled by a rocket in his prime, who was coming off 2 straight Cy Young seasons.
Strike 3 finishes with a flurry.
As far as dominating and carrying a ball club, it was Roger. I thought there's nobody better, and he was really a big part.
But even with Clemens, the Sox fell 10 games back by early June, leading to talk about a possible change in the Fenway dugout.
Here, ladies and gentlemen, your 1988 Oakland Athletics.
On paper, the Oakland A's appeared to be the best in the West, with a star-studded cast and a skipper destined for Cooperstown.
As I look at this 88 club, I know the names are great with Canseco, McGuire, Walt Weiss, and you can go on and on across the board. But really the one name that stands out to me is Tony La Russa. He changed the game of baseball in Oakland.
You walk into that situation, it was perfect. If you look at the roster, it was, all-stars.
Touch him all, Jose. He got out of that. Hit high, deep, way back. Home run, Mark McGuire.
probably as good a push-button team as you can ever expect.
Pushing the right buttons was a La Russa trademark.
The A's win, they switch the series.
And his finger was always on the pulse of his pitching staff, led by a hometown hero nicknamed Smoke.
Fastball, he struck him out with a pleasure.
Stewart got an opportunity. Dave was a true number one. I mean, he stood up there and he wanted the ball, and the way he competed so ferociously. It was just a complete club. That part of it was a trade that was made in the spring training of '87. Just to fortify our rotation, they brought Dennis Eckersley from Chicago. You could do a whole feature on Eck's story because he was a young start in the big leagues, pitched a no-hitter, won 20 games. So we brought him in, and while we waited to see if a starter got hurt, we used him in relief. He just went in there and wiped out guys.
Strike three, and the A's win the ball game.
In 1988, Eck's our closer, and I mean, he went on to Hall of Fame career.
He struck him out, and Dennis Eckersley has saved a big one for the Oakland A's.
All season, Eckersley anchored the AL's best bullpen.
Strike three call.
Pacing the A's to the top of the standings and making them a World Series front-runner.
It's been a storybook season for A's bullpen ace, Dennis Eckersley. With 2 wins and 25 saves, he's had a hand in half of Oakland's wins. It's a ground ball to Walt Weiss. He's got it. Steps on second. There's one. Throws the first. There's 2. Eckersley does it very easily. He didn't have to waste many pitches, did he?
And Eckersley makes short work of the Red Sox in the 9th inning. He gets a 1-2-3.
At age 33 and in his second season with Oakland, Eckersley has found new life as a reliever, dazzling hitters just as he did 13 years ago when he came up with Cleveland. With the Indians, Eck threw a no-hitter in 1977. And the year before, at age 21, struck out 200 batters. Later, he was traded to Boston, where he had his only 20-win season. In 1984, after 7 years with the Red Sox, he moved on to the Cubs and a division title, a dream ending Eckersley may help bring to the Athletics.
Swung on, fly ball.
It was something that you had to put your ego in your pocket and go from there and do what's best for the club. And really, it turned out to be best for me as far as hopefully furthering my career. Since then, it's been sort of a mental thing, trying to handle the pressure of short relief.
Failure, I don't think, is a part of his vocabulary. He goes out, whatever the job is, he's going to do it, and do it well. Eck is good at getting 2 strikes on you very quickly and putting the hitters away.
Right off the ground, and Gallego makes the play, and the A's break their 5-game losing streak. Eckersley did not throw a non-strike.
I know that I can get 3 of my pitches over the plate, and I don't have to get real worried if I fall behind. And I think hitters know that, and I think hitters go up there with swinging the bat. That helps, too, because I can be a little more aggressive and make them swing at my pitches.
5 more, Mike.
Okay.
Up the middle, a hit. Burks will come around to score. Mike Greenwell has hit in 10 straight games.
Pounded, fair ball into the right field corner. Barrett will score. Burks will come home and into second with a double as Greenwell.
Crossing's pitch is hit high in the air to right. Back goes Chili Davis. Back to the fence. It is gone.
In Boston, the word is hitting. And these days, the latest word is Red Sox sophomore Mike Greenwell, who's been producing powerful numbers. Fact is, he's been swinging dangerously since last year when he took over left field from Jim Rice.
It gave some of the guys a chance to get their feet wet and to play every day. And in my situation, it was more or less Jimmy getting hurt. The first month and a half, I think I had 11 at-bats, and they were all pinch hitting. So that was very tough. But fortunately for me, Jimmy did get hurt, and I got an opportunity to play, 10 or 12 days in a row, and I got to show the Red Sox what I could do.
As a rookie, Greenwell hit .328, drove in 89 runs. And all of a sudden, at the age of 24, the lefty swinger was being compared to the great Don Mattingly.
I think Lou Piniella said last year that he thought I was one of the top 5 hitters in the American League, and I think that was probably the most flattering thing I heard all year. You know, he said that he compared me to a Mangley, and if you don't live up to those expectations, then everybody's going to kind of look down on you. So I'm just going to try to be Mike Greenwell and do the best that I can do, and not try to do everything that Don Mangley's done or is going to do. You know, he's a superstar, so hopefully I can be close to that.
It may be too soon for comparisons, but one thing does seem certain. With a .340 average and 52 RBIs, Greenwell has a definite knack with the bat.
Hopefully I can improve on all the numbers I had last year. With 89 RBIs, you know, only in 400 at-bats. Hopefully this year I can drive in 100 runs, and I think, you know, Wade Boggs and Ellis and Marty in front of you, it's just a great opportunity to do that. And I would not be satisfied if I don't drive in at least 100 runs. The home runs are going to come. I'm not going to worry about that. And hopefully I'll continue to hit for a high average.
Even with Greenwell, Boston's future was marked by imminent signs. In late June, the Red Sox won 5 straight, but then everything crashed.
Hit down the line and right and deep. Does it stay fair? No. A foul ball and just barely foul.
That's not a foul ball. That's a home run there. That ball went to the other side of the pole. Watch this ball. It just caroms right off the pole.
Hits it, no question about it.
No question about it.
Later in the series, it was a similar refrain.
And Rice gets into it a little bit. It hangs up, and Wilson comes up for the catch. And will throw to second base for the double play and the triple play. Triple play for the Kansas City Royals.
Compounding Red Sox woes, a viral infection in early July sent Bruce Hurst to the sidelines for 2 weeks. There, he joined Jeff Sellers, who fractured a bone in his pitching hand, depleting the ranks still more. Finally, just after the All-Star break, a weary and beleaguered John McNamara was let go. Although the Sox managed to climb above the 500 mark, they went into the second half of the season in 4th place, trailing the Tigers by 9 games. The change in managers came on July 14th, when third base coach Joe Morgan stepped in to fill McNamara's shoes. To many of Boston's homegrown players, the one-time manager of the Pawtucket Red Sox may have been the same old Joe. But every move Morgan made not only worked, it produced a magical effect. Rookie Jody Reed was permanently installed at short. The switch-hitting Todd Benziger was given newfound confidence and a job at first base, and the Red Sox got much-needed right-handed power from new acquisition Larry Parrish.
I remember telling the club that they were a better team naturally than they had played, but maybe we can't win this thing, but certainly we can creep up the ladder, and if we get up in a second place, who knows after that. But we got there in an awful hurry.
Joe Morgan on the verge perhaps of his first Major League managing victory. What a way this would be to start a Major League managing career.
And so it began. 16 strikeouts for Roger Clemens and win #1 for Joe Morgan. Suddenly, the Red Sox had a new lease on life. They swept a doubleheader, and next day against the Royals, rallied back from a 6-0 deficit, finally getting even in the 8th inning when Dwight Evans stepped into the picture.
Drive toward the wall, way back, and tied up!
1 inning later, in the bottom of the 9th, the Red Sox got a little touch of magic from the little-used Kevin Romine, who delivered the killing blow.
Here's the pitch. Long drive! Ball game's over! Kevin Romine has won it! 7-6 Boston!
Fenway hearts were pumping with pennant fever as the Sox made it 3 straight, 4 straight, 5 straight. And then, with #6 on the line, Larry Parrish came forth.
Goes deep to left field, line drive, home run. Larry Parrish. 5-0 Boston. Well, that's what they got him for.
Parrish powered the Sox to #6, but next night the streak was in jeopardy when a 10th inning sacrifice fly capped a Twins comeback in which they took a 2-run lead.
I was at first base with Todd in the top of the 10th when they scored 2 runs or so, and we were saying the same thing, like, I can't believe that, but we need to get this big out here. And Todd goes, if we get an out here, you never know.
Tying run at third, the winning run at second, as the Red Sox climb back.
High drive, right field, way back. Home run, the Red Sox win. Todd Benziger.
Another hero, another victory, and suddenly 5 games out. But there was more to this game than a spirited finish. Boston's new manager became known to everyone when he pulled a shocking move in the 8th inning. With Ellis Burks on first and Joe Morgan in need of a bunt, he pinch hit Spike Owen for slugger Jim Rice. Passing up the superstar for a number 9 hitter sparked a celebrated protest from Rice and left no doubt as to who was in charge.
We felt we had to support Joe, that Joe was the manager of the club. The club had to realize he was running the club, he'd make the decisions, and he was in charge.
I've heard it mentioned a few times that Joe did some things to show people that he was the boss and what he said goes. Joe's not that type of manager. He's not the type of guy that needs to make examples or to do things like that. I think he honestly did it just because he thought it was the right move. And that's just the way it is. It really doesn't matter who it is. He doesn't really play favorites.
Maybe not, but every move Morgan made worked like a charm. Hitting heroes gave way to pitching heroes. And with a win streak at 7, Oil Can Boyd dispatched the White Sox with nearly unhittable stuff, making it 8 straight and the best start ever for a Sox manager. A win the next day brought it to 9, and then Mike Smithson continued to amaze. With a streak on the line, he set down 19 of the last 20.
They've got 10 in a row as Smithson strikes out the side.
The Red Sox rolled to 10 in a row, and next night in the White Sox finale, Lee Smith put the finishing touches on a stirring homestand.
Struck him out, and this ballgame has come to an end.
For Smith, 4 saves during the streak, and for the Red Sox, 11 in a row. They had not lost at Fenway in a month and had not lost since Joe Morgan took over. But it was time to take the win streak on the road to Arlington, Texas, where Clemens fired off 14 strikeouts.
Strike 3, this game is over. And the Red Sox have won 12 in a row.
The way things were going, everyone was hoping a little of Morgan's magic would rub off.
After every game we went upstairs and we were watching Joe to see if he was betting on any horses or any dog races because we were going to bet right along with him.
We won 12 in a row, and I got a letter from this guy, and he said, Joe, you're using the wrong lineup.
Maybe so, but it worked wonders. In 12 games, the Red Sox remarkably climbed from 9 games out to 1.5 back of first. But next night in still sweltering Texas heat, the string snapped.
Slam to left field, it is caught, and the streak is over.
Losing only 1 game in 2 weeks should not have been cause for alarm. But in that game, the Red Sox quickly came down to earth when they lost Oil Can Boyd to a sore shoulder. 2 days later, the Sox returned home where they had not lost in more than a month. But they were minus a starter.
Now when Boyd goes down, it looks like Boyd is questionable because of the physical status of him and because of his health being in jeopardy. We decided we had to get a pitcher.
And Joe Morgan has a new pitcher to replace Oil Can Boyd. The Red Sox have just announced that they have made the trade with the Baltimore Orioles. They have acquired Mike Boddicker.
When I first came over, the first game I got to watch, I was charting, I was pitching the next day. And Roger was pitching. It got to be late innings. It was 2-2. And Marty Barrett was on third base.
Goes to right field. That's going to drop in there. A diving catch by Rob Deere. Coming onto the plate is Marty Barrett. The relay is out at home. A double play ends the inning.
And everybody's going, I can't believe you didn't tag on that, you know, and everybody's just harping on it. And our coaches, everybody, up and down going, I can't believe he's got all this experience and he didn't tag. You've got to know better than that and all that stuff. And Joe came down and says, hey, relax, everybody makes mistakes. That's all he said, and everybody calmed down. Marty come up in the 9th inning, bases loaded off of Higuera.
Barrett bangs one into left field. This game is over. The Red Sox win it 3-2.
For Barrett, a case of redemption. For the Sox, 19 straight at home. And for the newcomer, a case of nerves.
I was nervous because I pitched the game. I started the game when they started the streak when I was with Baltimore. And here I was coming in, pitching, trying to extend the streak. And I felt like it was my first game in the big leagues again. I was real nervous.
The crowd is into the game early. And what a start for Mike Boddicker.
I got a standing ovation twice going out to warm up, and then once when I came off the field. So it was exciting.
In his Red Sox debut, Boddicker shut out the Brewers into the 8th inning and then left the rest to the bullpen. Bob Stanley got the call and finished the job as the Red Sox finished off the month of July with 20 straight wins at home and a no-lose attitude.
I think we went into each game at home thinking they're over there knowing they're at Fenway and it's going to be tough. They might not have been thinking about that. They might have been saying, hey, we can win here just like anybody else. No big deal here. But by us thinking that, I think it gave us that little edge that you need to win those close ball games.
We just felt like we couldn't lose at home. I mean, the Celtics mystique that they never lose at home and that kind of thing.
No hitter carries more of a mystique than Wade Boggs, a magician with the bat who became the first player this century to have 6 straight 200-hit seasons. A hitter of supreme consistency, Boggs just never cools off. At the end of July, he took over the batting race and went on to hit .366, earning his 4th straight batting title and 5th in the last 6 years. With such accomplishments, Boggs has already earned a place among the game's batting legends.
Line to left. A hit. A double for Wade Boggs.
And inside the park, home run for Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs is 4 for 4. 1,200 hits for Boggs.
Boggs will have a triple.
Boggs gets his 4th hit. He has knocked in 3 runs.
Here comes Boggs. Boston wins 4-3.
Hitting may be what Boggs does best, but his defense is much improved and after much hard work has become a source of pride.
You always want to be known as a complete ball player. With me hitting at such a high average, it's very hard for me to get the recognition on my fielding that I do on my hitting. The defense comes a lot harder than the offense does. I have to work a lot harder at it, and I go out early and take 15, 20 minutes extra ground balls. And the more you play, the better you get.
True enough, not only for Boggs, but for the revived Red Sox who were rolling at Fenway.
That one is gone. Mark McGuire gives the A's another lead. 1 ball and 2 strike count, and he straightened one out. They didn't get that one quite in far enough. And that's the way it is when you play these A's. They just keep going at you, and somebody's going to hit one.
Forearm bashing became a symbol of the power this A's team possessed. It was obvious the biggest basher of all was Canseco, but Jose also had the gift of speed, and that allowed him to set his sights on some unexplored baseball territory.
This spring training, I set some goals. Basically, I thought if I just stay consistent, use my ability, and didn't go into any slumps, that I can make the 40-40 club. What I didn't realize is that there are no members in the 40-40 club, so I sort of just laughed at that. But all of a sudden, halfway into the season, I'm on pace for it.
September 18th against Kansas City, Jose Canseco reaches half of his milestone.
Here's a high drive. That might be number 40. It's on the way, and there she goes. Number 40 for Jose Canseco.
September 19th. The A's oh-so-sweet season is proudly hailed a success as they win their first division championship in 7 years. Ironically, beating the '87 world champion Minnesota Twins.
The drive to deep right field. Tell it goodbye. Parker drove that pitch way back into the seats in right field. The A's lead it 4-3.
And for the clinch, well, you were expecting Catfish Hunter, maybe?
Fly ball, left field. Colonial over, on the
September 23rd, a feat never before accomplished came to pass. As in Milwaukee, Jose Canseco first seeks out his 39th stolen base.
Phillips way down the line at third. There goes Jose. The pitch is taken. Throw to second base. Safe. He's got number 39.
Then, with entrance to the 40-40 club just a hop and a skip away, the most powerful hitter in the league uses the element of surprise and lays down his first bunt all season.
Here's the bunt. He's got a hit.
No man in baseball had ever hit 40 home runs and stole 40 bases in the same season.
Now, stand by. Which pitch is he going to run on? He's leaning a little bit right now. He's running. There's the throw. Number 40. Jose Canseco, the first man ever in big league history to do it. He's getting a standing ovation from his teammates on the top of the dugout steps. All around this ballpark. They're standing. He stole it. It's his. He's got it.
That's great. Basically, some players put pressure on themselves, but I told myself, hey, I'm going to try to do it. If I can, I have many years in front of me. Don't put any pressure. Just try to do the best of your ability, and basically, that's the way you achieve goals. I thought the 40 home runs were going to become the most difficult. I knew I had pretty good speed. I had worked on it during the off-season. I knew what kind of base runner I was. I knew in my mind I would have the 40 stolen bases because there's so many ways you have to steal bases. There aren't too many options you have to hit home runs.
That is drilled to deep center field. Back goes Brady Anderson to the wall, climbs the wall, and it's gone.
He hit clutch home runs. The stolen bases were clutch. But I heard him say it, and I could see it in his eyes. He made a couple of defensive plays, caught a ball, made a throw to win games. He got just as big a charge out of that. So I think he really enjoyed being a complete player and using all his abilities to win games.
Canseco running. McGuire takes a throw to second. Canseco's in.
Great players, Willie Mays and those guys, they haven't done it. So you start to compare. Wow, he's done a great thing.
There goes the runner, and there goes the ball. Oh, my. Get the tape measure, folks. That one is downtown Seattle.
He's a phenomenal player, and what's been fun to watch is not only this year when he accomplished so many things, but the development that he's shown over the last 2 or 3 years. It's like night and day. He's been through so much in 3 years. The expectations have been so high, and the pressure's, I think, so great. This year, I think he learned from all of those experiences, as only he can, and put everything together in a package that only he has.
Which on September 4th brought the Red Sox to Anaheim with a chance to reclaim first place. They had lost 5 of 6 on the West Coast, and things didn't look much better now as the Angels took a 4-0 lead. But the Sox came back to tie it, and then Larry Parrish led off the 10th with a bang.
Parrish sends it high in the air, deep to right center field, way back and gone. Larry Parrish, an opposite field home run. The Red Sox lead 6-5.
That was all Lee Smith needed as he shut down the Angels for good.
Strike 3. The game is over. The Red Sox are in first place.
In first place with a lead that would keep growing and growing. 2 nights later, Wes Gardner breezed past the Baltimore Orioles, retiring 14 of the last 16 batters for the first complete game of his career. The Red Sox boosted their lead to 3.5, and then on September 10th, in front of a jam-packed house at Fenway, Roger Clemens reemerged from a month-long slump with a brilliant performance against the Cleveland Indians.
And it's to Barrett, and this should end it. A one-hitter for Roger Clemens.
The Sox kept the momentum going full force. 2 days after Clemens threw the first one-hitter of his career, Dennis Lamp polished off the Orioles with help from an airtight infield, which turned 3 double plays and sparked the Sox to their 3rd win in 4 games. Next night, Jim Rice, who struggled much of the season after losing his left field job, found his celebrated power stroke, and against the Orioles, delivered mightily.
There goes a long shot, deep
left center, and it is out of here for a grand slam.
Rice's 8th career grand slam beat Baltimore and pushed Boston's lead to 4.5 games. Next night, Mike Greenwell also got into the swing. Sparking the Red Sox to victory, he collected hits in all varieties, highlighting his brilliant season with a night to remember.
Drive toward right field. It's going to drop for a cycle. A cycle for Mike Greenwell. Single, double, triple, and homer.
Greenwell's 4-star performance capped a red-hot streak in which the Sox proved their resolve, winning 8 of 10. They were no doubt primed and pumped up for a critical series with their oldest rivals and now principal contenders.
We needed a big win here, especially with the Yankees coming in. We needed to keep the momentum, and it's a good feeling to help your team win.
With the Sox up by 4.5, the second-place Yankees came in for a 4-game series that produced more than a few jitters and stirred up memories, at least for the media, of the famous Boston Massacre of 1978. But in Game 1, the Yankees were full of surprises. Most of all, this steal of home by Claudell Washington, which locked Boston out and prompted dire predictions at the old homestead.
Everybody I ran into the next day, in their eyes, they really felt that this team was going to fall and we were going to lose those ball games. And we really felt we had something to prove. We had to hopefully put that ghost behind the Red Sox and the fans and ourselves and everybody involved, and we wanted to win.
The Sox played with a lot more spunk in Game 2 as Marty Barrett started a 2-out rally in the 5th.
He rips that fair ball past Pagliarulo toward the corner. Boggs on his way to third. Henderson fields it in the corner. Boggs waved in. Santana's throw is not in time.
A 3-2 lead for the Red Sox and a comeback that wouldn't quit. 4 more runs crossed the plate, and Boston went into the 9th with a 7-4 lead. A lead that was safe and sound in the trusty hands of Lee Smith, who put the Yankees to rest while putting Boston's first-place lead back up to 4.5 games. In Game 3, the Yankees and Red Sox battled through an unexpected pitcher's duel. Neither team could muster much offense, and the game went into the 8th, deadlocked at 1. If Red Sox pitching wasn't enough to frustrate the Yankees, this 8th inning blow was.
That's gone. Left field at the wall and in the net. Dwight Evans getting his 100th RBI of the year.
Evans' home run put the Red Sox up 3-1. The lead held up as Bruce Hurst capped a 3-hitter by bringing down the house. The win gave Boston a little breathing room on top of the East. And next day, Fenway hearts were jumping when Ron Guidry got rocked very early and very often.
Hit toward the wall and left. High in the air, way back and gone! Number 17 for Ellis Burks. It gives the Red Sox a 3-1 lead.
A barrage of Red Sox hits knocked Guidry out in the 2nd inning as Boston went up 7-1, scattering Yankee pennant hopes. Any fears of a Boston massacre disappeared as the Sox took 3 of 4 to pull 6 games up and finally rest easy on top of the East with a 6-game lead. Of course, as the Red Sox knew all too well, no lead was safe. On September 23rd, the Red Sox arrived in New York with trouble in mind, and soon, trouble on the scoreboard. The Yankees overcame an early Red Sox run, crushing Red Sox pitching for 6 runs in 2 innings. The Yankee assault brought bedlam to the Bronx, knocking Bruce Hurst out of the game and giving New York a seemingly unsinkable 9-5 lead.
With, 40,000 people at Yankee Stadium screaming and yelling, and they pretty much thought the Yankees had already won the ball game.
And then we just chipped away. We chipped away, and there was a feeling on the bench because at the time the Yankees had been struggling, and we knew that their relief pitching had blown some games. And
they could put anybody they had out there, and we were going to score if that's what we needed to do. And they felt the same way. They were pounding at us. They were ready to go, and it was just a great fight.
A great fight in which the Yankees lost the balance of power to Boston. The Red Sox came back with 2 runs and cut the deficit to 9-7. Then in the top of the 9th, with Jody Reed up and runners at the corners, the Sox kept on coming.
Line drive, base hit into left field. Greenwell comes on to score. The Red Sox are within a run, 9-8. He delivers it to shallow center. Washington charging hard. He does not get it. Burks had to hold up, and he will stop at third. Chopped up the middle. They didn't know who would field it. Burks scores. Here comes Reed. He scores. And the Red Sox have a 10-9 lead.
A game like that is so fun, and we came in there and you'd have thought we just won the pennant right at that point. We were all slapping each other, high five, and just, it was a great feeling.
Nothing, it seemed, could diminish the excitement of that victory. Not even an embarrassing 2-out blunder in the bottom of the 9th next day that cost the Red Sox the game.
We knew we'd won 10-9 the night before, and that was a big game for us. And we weren't going to let what happened that Saturday destroy everything we'd worked for. So we were just looking forward to going out there and win the next one.
And they did, with a blowout. The Red Sox demolished Yankee pitching for 6 runs. Lee Smith saved the shutout, and in taking 2 of 3, the Sox left town satisfied but spent. Mike Boddicker was better than all right on September 29th in Cleveland when he retired the first 16 batters. With the frustration of the Blue Jays sweep behind them, the Red Sox came alive at the plate and scored 12 runs. And behind Boddicker's first complete game and first shutout with the Red Sox, Boston clinched a tie for the American League East. Next night, the Sox looked like a cinch to clinch with Clemens pitching, but they lost. The Yankees did too, leaving one last team to worry about.
Ground ball to the right. Lansford has it at first, steps on the bag. The A's win their 103rd. The Red Sox are the American League Eastern Division champions. The Brewers' gallant bid has died here at the Coliseum, and it'll be the A's and the Red Sox beginning next Wednesday.
It's a heck of a way to have to find out you've you know, clinched the Eastern Division, but like I said, we won enough ball games to win it, and that's what it takes. It would have been nice to win it on the field and have the celebration.
We had bought the swimming goggles to wear so the champagne doesn't get in your eyes, the whole 9 yards. We were ready for it, and it just didn't happen, you know. And the next day there was champagne there, and they had all the plastic up and everything. And maybe if we'd won that Saturday, we might have felt a little better too. But we lost that game too, and we came in, it was just like it wasn't there.
I was saying to myself, good, it'll happen in Oakland when we play them. At least we had one more shot at it. But like we had the champagne there in Cleveland the next day, but like I said, you can't fake it.
The Sox might have been minus a celebration, but they were champions of the East and were headed home for the American League playoffs against the all-powerful and heavily favored champions of the West.
Today, live from Fenway Park in Boston, it's Game 1 of the American League Championship Series between the Oakland A's and the Boston Red Sox. It's a cool, damp day here in Boston. We're expecting rain through the course of the day. Temperature 42 degrees. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Benders. We come to this American League Championship Series. Two clubs who got here by considerably different paths. You look at the A's, they won 104 games. That's a record for the American League West. On the other hand, the Red Sox captured only 89 wins, and that's the lowest victory total for an American League East Division winner. Bruce Hurst going against Dave Stewart. More on that in just a moment. Right now, let me introduce you to the two members of our broadcast team, two future Hall of Famers. A guy who played here in '75 in the World Series for the Cincinnati Reds, two-time MVP of the National League, Joe Morgan. Joe, glad to have you with us. Joe, you look at this Red Sox ball club. They lost 6 of their last 7. Is that an area of concern for them?
Well, they have 2 areas of concern, Gary. They lost 6 of their last 7, but even more importantly, they lost their last 3 ball games to the Oakland A's. Now, some people say that does not matter going into the playoffs. I think it does matter because it gives the A's confidence of the fact that they can win. You only play exhibition games in spring training, so all the games count. I think Boston has to get off to a good start in this series in order to combat the A's confidence.
The newest member of our broadcast team was known as Mr. October. He hit some tape measure shots, 563 home runs in his career. He had some great days here in Fenway Park. I'm speaking, of course, about Reggie Jackson. Reggie, welcome to the broadcast team. The A's, they just destroyed the West. Now, do you think they've got too much confidence coming into this?
I don't think you can ever have too much confidence, Gary. I think the A's need to beware of the dog, and that dog could be the Boston Red Sox. They have 4 ball games here in this short 7-game series, and of course they had an outstanding record here during the season. They also have Brewers Hurst, who was an outstanding pitcher here, and that's why he has a start here. It's a very confident ball club here at Fenway Park.
We'll continue with more. We'll meet the first 40-40 man, along with Mike Greenwell, the guys who should finish 1-2 in the most valuable player voting in the American League. That in just a moment. Historic Fenway Park. Game 1 of the American League Championship Series between the Red Sox and the Oakland A's. For the first time ever in the history of baseball, we had a man who hit 40 home runs, able to swipe 40 bases. That man, Jose Canseco of the Oakland A's. Earlier today, Reggie Jackson talked to the Oakland A's right fielder.
The kind of season that people expect for you to have throughout your 3-year brief career. I think the kind of season you expected yourself to have. How do you feel after having that kind of year?
Well, right now, I'm very extremely excited. I put a goal on myself in spring training this year, and basically, I thought there were more members in the 40-40 club, but what I realized after, there were no members. So at first, I thought maybe I put my foot in my mouth, but then I thought, well, with the ability I've got, with the hard work that I've done during the last 3 years, I think if I stay consistent and I just put the ball in play, basically not get injured, I think my ability would let me become the first 40-40 player, and basically it happened.
Now you have October here. There's no home runs that you've hit. There are no stolen bases anymore. You have 1 week to win the American League pennant with the Oakland Athletics. Are you going to play any differently? Are you going to expect any more out of yourself during this pressure-packed series?
No, I think we're even talking about that in the clubhouse. We're not going to do anything drastically different or change any of the signs and stuff like that. I mean, basically what we're going to do is play like we've been playing the whole year. We've been very successful. We won 104 or 5 games, and basically what we have on this club is a lot of talent, a lot of young talent combined with the veteran leadership and talent, and with that I think we have enough to win the playoffs.
Jose, you've been in the newspapers all year long. The last 10 days you've been all over the media, television, of course, papers again. Tom Boswell, a fellow out of Washington, has made an accusation,
good friend of mine,
an erroneous, so to speak, as you say, about you using steroids. Is he trying to detract from your great season?
I don't know. I don't know if he's trying to take away from the MVP season that I have, or basically he wants to be a more well-known reporter or whatever. He wants to discredit me for the great numbers that I put up this year. But basically, the statements that he's made are false. I mean, some of them don't even make any sense if you ask me. I mean, I've done a lot of hard work during the last 3 seasons. You, of course, know I enjoy weightlifting. I put my hours in the gym day in, day out. I've done a lot of running drills, a lot of running technique, really, that has helped me a lot to steal the 40 base. And basically what I am is a hard worker. So maybe he's trying to discredit me, or maybe he's trying to become a more well-known reporter by hitting on one of the top players. Who knows?
No. I think the fans appreciate that hard work from you, Jose Canseco, in 1988. Let's go over to another hard worker and visit with Joe Morgan and Mike Greenwell.
Mike, this is only your second year in the major leagues. You're only 25 years old, yet you were one of the catalysts for the Red Sox offensively this year. Do you feel any special pressure to do as well here in the playoffs?
Well, I feel a little pressure. You know, it was a great feeling being able to help the team win this year and help get us here. And a little pressure. I'd like to go out and perform and live up to my expectations and everybody else's in the playoffs, and hopefully help us win some games here. Hopefully it'll happen for me, and I'll have a good series.
Dave Stewart says you're one of the toughest outs in the Boston lineup. Do you think he'll pitch you any differently here than he did during the season?
Well, Dave pitched me tough all year. He keeps the forkball away, his off-speed stuff away, and he tries to come in hard with the hard stuff. He tries to get in on your hands, and he can be very tough. So I'll be looking for some pitches in and the soft stuff away, and hopefully I'll guess right and get a good pitch and drive it somewhere in a hole with some guys on base and drive some runs in for us.
So as Greenwell says, it'll be Dave Stewart, the 20-game winner, going for the Oakland A's. Left-hander Bruce Hurst for Boston. It started to warm up. It's now 47 degrees. We'll be back to talk about the starting pitchers in just a moment. Well, we're getting ready now for the first pitch. Game number 1, the American League Championship Series. And speaking of pitching, Joe Morgan, Dave Stewart, the ace of Oakland, getting the call.
Well, Dave Stewart has won 20 ball games the last 2 seasons, but he doesn't feel he's received all the credit he deserves for being one of the best pitchers in the American League. Well, today he'll get a chance to earn some more respect, and he'll try to do it with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, a good split-fingered fastball, and his best pitch, a soft fork ball. But his main asset is that he will go right after these Boston Red Sox.
He got in trouble the last few times walking too many batters. Reggie Jackson, Bruce Hurst. Boy, is he tough here in Fenway Park.
You know, unquestionably tough. Gary, you take a look at Bruce Hurst. Here's a fellow with a good fastball, a sinking fastball, good overhand curveball, and then he's got a changeup, and of course he throws a forkball. Here's a fellow who was 13-2 here in 1988 in this ballpark, 26-5 career. And anytime that you get a start in a playoff that's ahead of Roger Clemens, we all know about Roger Clemens, and you've got to be an outstanding pitcher. He's going to pitch 3 times here, and they feel that this guy is going to make the difference in that ball club.
Hurst is 5-1 career-wise against the Oakland A's. Well, the excitement mounting. We're going to be back to begin game number 1, the American League Championship Series. The Oakland A's against the Boston Red Sox. Fenway Park is the site of game 1. A panoramic of Boston and Fenway Park, built in 1912, and what great storied traditions have come out of this magnificent structure. It's almost like a religious shrine to come here to get an opportunity to see baseball. Any baseball fan should have that opportunity. The Commissioner of Baseball, Peter Uberoff, Dennis Swanson, the president of ABC Sports, many dignitaries on hand for football-type weather as they get ready for this American League Championship Series. Let's look now at the lineups for the Oakland Athletics. Carney Lansford, a former Red Sox, will lead off. He'll be at third base. Dave Henderson having a career year in center field. Canseco, we've documented what he's done. He'll be batting third. Behind him in the cleanup spot, the first baseman, Mark McGuire. Terry Steinbach, the MVP of the All-Star game, the catcher. And veteran Don Baylor. Boy, he's been here before, hasn't he? He's the DH. Tony Phillips, and this is a change, will be starting to left field to try to play that green monster. Mike Gallego will be the second baseman, and Walter Weiss, strong candidate for American League Rookie of the Year, will be the shortstop.
And the Boston defense takes the field, and Todd Benzinger will be at first base. Marty Barrett will play second base this afternoon. Jody Reed is the shortstop. Batting champion Wade Boggs is at third base. Mike Greenwell will be in left field. Ellis Burks is the center fielder. Dwight Evans will be in right. Rick Gedman will do the catching, and on the mound, left-hander Bruce Hurst.
Hurst is 3-0 in postseason. 5 postseason starts. You might remember in '86 he started 3 games in the World Series. To get an inside look on the left-hander, we're going to call on Milwaukee Brewers' Paul Molitor.
Bruce Hurst is most effective in Fenway Park, especially in the daytime. His pitches have a tendency of getting lost in the center field bleachers, especially his curveball. Now, his best pitch is his screwball, which is basically a turned-over changeup, and he likes to throw that to right-handed hitters. He won't throw it to left-handed hitters, however. Now, he also has an excellent pickoff move to first base, so base runners beware.
Hurst, 18-6, the most wins for a Red Sox left-hander since Bill Lee captured 17 wins in 75. And he's 5-1 lifetime against the A's. The umpires, Don Denkinger will be behind the plate. Ted Henry at first. Tim McClellan at second. Greg Koch will be the third base umpire. Down the left field line will be Ken Kaiser, and the right field line, John Shulock. Well, we mentioned football-type weather here in the Boston area. It's considerably warmer than when we first came out. It's now 47 degrees, and the forecast for light drizzle. It rained throughout most of yesterday. Only the A's were able to have infield and batting practice, as the Red Sox could not get it in and had to warm up in the center field area. Well, Joe Morgan, what's it like to play in Fenway Park?
Well, I think it's a great old ballpark, as you mentioned earlier, but I think one thing we should note here, Paul Molitor talked about the glare that usually comes from center field when Bruce Hurst is pitching, a left-hander coming straight over the top. It's an overcast day, so that glare is not there. I think that works in the Oakland A's favor this afternoon, that Bruce Hurst is really going to be able to not hide the ball from him as well as he normally would.
Carney Lansford will lead things up and fouls it down. Reggie Jackson, as a hitter, that green monster, boy, that's got to be beckoning out there.
It was awfully inviting. You know, the people that it's really inviting are your left-hand hitters. It keeps a left-hander on the baseball longer, and you'll find over the years that left-handers have great success here.
Lansford fouls another one down, and he's behind 0-2.
You take a look at the Freddie Linds of the world. They took advantage of his 315 to left field. They took advantage of the 379 to center field. The 390 in the alley's a little bit tough there. The 420 in the deepest part of the ballpark. And of course, right field almost seems like a disadvantage for a left-hand hitter, but it's a good ballpark for a left-hand hitter. Makes him stay on the ball longer.
Carney Lansford, who of course began his career at the Red Sox, behind 0-2 and called third strike.
Carney Lansford is a free swinger. You normally do not see him take a third strike, but Bruce Hurst makes a perfect pitch. Look at this, right on the outside corner, just above the knees. Perfect pitch.
So Hurst now will face Dave Henderson, yet another Red Sox. Henderson, along with Lansford, played for the Red Sox. Rene Latchman was a former coach here for the Boston Red Sox. So there's quite a Boston-Oakland connection coming into this championship series. One strike.
Dave Henderson says to me before today's games, if you want to get playoff tickets, people start asking me in January because they know I'm going to be there.
Henderson has had a career year. Home runs, RBIs, all career highs. So many things have come together at once for this guy. And that'll make it into left field for a base hit. So one down and one on, and that will bring up Jose Canseco.
The one thing that Bruce Hurst has to do is throw strikes and stay in front of these hitters. You cannot pitch from behind against the Oakland A's and be successful.
Well, this guy coming up to the plate just creates an air of excitement, doesn't he? Look at those numbers. Home runs, RBIs, leading the majors. He was 10th in batting in the league at 307. Became a very accomplished outfielder while he was producing all of those numbers. Pitch misses and the count goes 1 ball. Right field, Burks hustling over. And now to make the catch will be Dwight Evans. 2 away.
There you see the reason why Bruce Hurst is so effective here in Fenway Park. He can come inside on the right-handed hitters. It keeps them from leaning out over the plate, trying to jerk the ball off the wall. He comes inside, keeps you honest, and then he can go back away. A perfect pitch for him to Jose Canseco.
Well, it doesn't get much easier. Mark McGwire, who put some good numbers together himself, 32 home runs and 99 RBIs. Following on the heels of that Rookie of the Year campaign when he hit 49. Now Hurst has a beautiful move to first, maybe as good as anybody in the league.
I can be a witness of that because I've been picked off by that move. He's got a great move, and that's one of the things that the Oakland A's need to be careful of. He can shut down that running game.
McGwire out ahead on that one, 1 strike. That's one reason that Tony La Russa decided to go with Tony Phillips in left. He felt that they would negate any of the running ability, maybe of a Javier or a Polonia on the base paths. 1 strike on McGwire. And again, he can't seem to make the timing the way he wants it. It's 0-2.
He's throwing him 2 good changeups over the outside part of the plate. And he throws a couple of different types of changeups. One, he just turns the fastball over, which acts like a changeup. And the other, he just takes something off of the fastball, the straight fastball.
Hurst has 3 quality pitches. He can really set you up. Boy, that didn't look very good, though, did it? Right back to Hurst, and he's out of the inning. So there's no runs on 1 hit and 1 left. We're going to go to the bottom half of the first inning. As the A's do not score, the Red Sox coming to bat. Fenway Park, home of the American League East Division champions, the Boston Red Sox. Let's take a look now at the starting lineup for the Red Sox. The batting champion, Wade Boggs, leading off at third. Marty Barrett will be the second baseman. Dewey Evans will be batting third in right field. Mike Greenwell batting cleanup. Todd Benzinger will be at first base. Ellis Burks in center field. Jim Rice will be the designated hitter. Jody Reed at shortstop, and Rich Gedman behind the plate.
And the A's defensively will have Mark McGwire at first base. Mike Gallego starts at second. Walter Weiss is the shortstop. Carney Lansford's at third. Tony Phillips starts in left field. Dave Henderson is the center fielder. Jose Canseco is in right. Terry Steinbach is behind the plate, and Dave Stewart is on the mound.
For a closer look at this right-hander who is 21-12, again, let's call on Paul Molitor.
Dave Stewart isn't just a great pitcher, he's a great athlete. And when he's out there on that mound, he shows a tremendous amount of stamina. As the game goes on, he has that ability to get stronger. Now, if he gets a lead from his ball club, he's one of the best in baseball as far as holding that lead. Now, the one problem he might have with the Red Sox lineup is that they're a very disciplined team. If they can lay off that high fastball, as well as that low fork ball, Stewart might have to come in with some better pitches for that club to hit. And with that green monster in left field, it could be some trouble for Stewart out there in Fenway Park.
So Stewart starts out Wade Boggs with a strike. Misses inside. Stewart started out this year 8-0, then finished 21-12, second straight 20-win season, and Boggs with that average second highest in his career. Count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. 4th straight batting title. Grounded down, and I think that may have hit Steinbach in the face mask. 2-2.
Most of Dave Stewart's problems with the Red Sox this year have started with Wade Boggs. He has walked him about 8 to 10 times during the season.
He just slaps that one to center field, hustling over, and coming up with it will be Dave Henderson, and Boggs leads things off with a base hit. Marty Barrett will come up. What really makes the Red Sox tough in the first of the order is Boggs and Barrett. They just don't strike out. They always make contact.
Guess you can almost say what's new. Here's a great swing. Look at him go down for that low pitch. The ball's out over the middle of the plate. It's a line drive right back up the middle. Classic Wade Boggs.
It was a good pitch by Dave Stewart.
Yes, it was. The ball was down.
Good piece of hitting.
Been a lot of good pitches, though, that Boggs has put into play, right? Barrett, as we mentioned, very tough to strike out. Only 35 strikeouts this year, and a fastball misses inside. Barrett is one of those guys that you talk about being a playing manager. He just refuses to lose, does so many little intangibles for this team.
He's an ideal guy to hit behind Wade Boggs because he will shoot the ball the other way and stay out of the double play.
Boggs is not really that big a threat to go. He's stolen only 2 bases this year. And the Red Sox are last in stolen bases.
And they're going to call a timeout because the sun came out momentarily, and Tony Phillips in left field wants to get his sunglasses. In fact, he's going to run in and get them because the sun came out. That was the cheer you heard from the crowd.
Let me ask you something about Tony Phillips. This has got to be an anxious moment for Tony. He's played everywhere for this ball club. Getting the call in left field, there was some talk they'd go with Parker to get more offense. Maybe a little better defensive play from Javier, but Phillips is out there, and it's not easy playing that green monster.
Well, Tony La Russa doesn't feel that they're going to be able to run that much with Bruce Hurst, and Tony Phillips has had a good career batting average, especially right-handed against Bruce Hurst. Consequently, that's why he's in the ballgame.
And he's also a good outfielder. He gets a very good jump on the ball, and Tony is, with infielder instincts, he plays the outfield very well.
Stewart delivers, and it's popped up short left field, so Phillips, who went in for the sunglasses, now will let Walt Weiss make the catch, and there's one away. So the pop up to the shortstop, and that's going to bring up Dewey Evans, Dwight Evans.
Dwight Evans.
Evans just continues to be amazing.
Right fielder.
8 straight years now, this 36-year-old veteran has hit 20 or more home runs.
And he's the only active player to have done that in the last 8 years.
He'll be 37 on November 3rd. The beginning of the year, Joe, he was the first baseman, and then they eventually moved him to right when Benzinger started to come around, and seemingly that was the final move that got this team together.
He's very confident in right field. He's still one of the best right fielders in baseball.
That'll go out of play. I remember Evans one time in that '75 World Series against you, Joe. He made a great catch in right field.
Yeah, I tried to forget that, but it always seems to pop up when I walk into this ballpark.
Well hit right field deep. Evans is going back near the wall, and oh, what a catch he made. What a catch by Dwight Evans, and it's a double play. Griffey didn't know what happened as Evans made a spectacular catch, and take a look at this. Dwight Evans went way back. He had no room to go anymore. Watch it. He knew where he was. One-handed catch. Crashes against the wall. Now his throw is off the mark by about 20 feet to the right of first base. Burleson covered the bag, the double play. Big play of the game, and now we go to the bottom of the 11th inning, still tied at 6-all. We've seen it all.
Game 6. 0-2 now to Dewey, and it gets through Steinbach, and Boggs will go down to second.
Fastball.
Take a look at this pitch right here again. As I had stated earlier, if Dave Stewart can stay out of trouble, there is a pitch there. Looked just like a fastball that got away from him. Terry Steinbach did not get in front of that pitch and block it.
That was a catcher's mistake. He should have been able to keep that ball in front of him.
So Boggs now in scoring position on the pass ball. Evans at the plate. And he got a piece of it, but hanging on is Steinbach. So there's 2 down. Big strikeout for Stewart. And that's going to bring up Mike Greenwell.
39.
A strikeout there on a forkball. That was an outstanding pitch. I'm sure that the Red Sox, in scouting Dave Stewart, know that Dave Stewart has problems early in his ball games, especially during some big ball games, and they're going to try to be patient. They're going to try to outweight him and see if he does have some trouble getting rolling.
Here's the guy that many people think will finish second in the MVP balloting to Jose Canseco. Greenwell fouls that off the mitt of Steinbach. Greenwell, one of the best young hitters in most people's estimation to come along in the last 10 years. He led the Red Sox in home runs, RBIs, and a major league record 23 game-winning RBIs. 1 strike on Greenwell.
Reggie, to take your point a little further about Dave Stewart having problems earlier in the ballgame, the other good thing that the Red Sox have going for them is that they are a disciplined group of hitters. They're aggressive, but they're disciplined. I think the Oakland A's are just an aggressive bunch of hitters.
Greenwell watches that one go outside, and it's 2-1.
The Red Sox are not afraid to take a base on balls, as you did say, Joe. Wade Boggs had 125 of them, and Mike Greenwell had 87.
And they led the league in base on balls.
And also fewest strikeouts.
So they are a disciplined group of hitters.
Foul down the first base line.
I think we can give some credit to Walt Hriniak. You watch some of these players, he is a student of the Charlie Lau theory of letting the bat go and finishing, following through with one hand so that you stay in the strike zone a little bit longer with the bat. And you see a lot of these players have made themselves follow the Charlie Lau theory.
That's that old helicopter swing. Still 2-2 on Greenwell. Right field. Canseco's right in the right spot, and that'll end it. So here in the bottom of the first inning, no runs on, one hit, one base runner left on after one, no score in Fenway. Fenway Park, Gary Bender along with two future Hall of Famers, Joe Morgan and Reggie Jackson. And there is Joe Morgan and Joe Morgan. What's my line? Will the real Joe Morgan please stand up? Terry Steinbach leading things off. He'll be followed by Don Baylor and Tony Phillips. In the top of the second, no score. Here's a guy who just seemed to get it all together after being voted the most valuable player in the All-Star game. Count evens at 1-1.
You know, he had a tough start this year. He got hit in the face very early in the season, I think in spring training almost, or right as the season started, and got off to a rough start.
1-1 on Steinbach.
Then after the All-Star game, the home run, I think, must have given him confidence. He's hit over 300 the second half. He's really ended up well.
There was a big controversy about the ballot stuffing, that he shouldn't be the starting catcher, and all he did was win the MVP honors with a home run and an RBI sacrifice fly that scored both of the runs for the American League.
There's a drive into right field. It back Strawberry all the way back, and it's out of his glove and over the wall for a home run. Terry Steinbach, the All-Star, who a lot of people said should not be here, hits a home run. Doesn't it figure?
And he's on. Steinbach, the first walk of the ball game. The leadoff man is at first, and here comes a guy who's been in a few championship series in his life, Don Baylor.
12, Don Baylor.
He's kind of the talisman factor, the rabbit's foot, if you will. He's played on the last two American League championships, and he'd like to make it 3 in a row. Nobody out. Steinbach at first, and Hurst continues to struggle right now. 1-0 to Don Baylor. And he misses again. 2-0.
I said earlier the A's were an aggressive group of hitters. Now they're showing good patience at the plate and letting Bruce Hurst pitches go by that are out of the strike zone.
There's the move to first.
In the meetings they had talked, Jimmy Lefevre, the hitting instructor of the Oakland A's, had talked to his hitters about being patient against Bruce Hurst, because he's going to try to get you to swing at bad balls.
And he now has thrown 7 straight balls. He's behind 3-0.
He had talked to me yesterday about if he's on his game, all he's going to do is look at the catcher's mitt and hit that catcher's mitt and just worry about his mechanics and not think about the hitter right now. He is off his game right now.
3-0. He gets it over. 3-1. You know, we talked earlier about how effective Hurst is, and Joe, you mentioned the fact that with the sun not shining today, it's taken some of that effectiveness away, but you still got to throw strikes.
Yes.
3-1. Baylor swings through it, and it's full now.
There is one of the reasons that Bruce Hurst is so effective. He did not give in to Don Baylor there on the 3-1 pitch. He turned the ball over away, and Baylor couldn't do anything with it.
3-2 to Baylor, and he got him on the inside corner. Boy, that's coming back, isn't it? After going behind 3-0, Baylor called out on strike.
The 2 strikes before were away, and you see the catcher's actually set up away, but he comes inside, and that really fools Don Baylor. That is a strike on the inside corner.
So 1 down now as Baylor retreat to the dugout, and Tony Phillips coming up. Phillips hitting .203 for the year. High, and again he drops behind, but Phillips hits much better against Hurst than he did for the season, hitting .240 against him.
Well, Tony was also on the disabled list for quite a period of time. He's a much better hitter than that. He puts the ball in play. If he has one fault, he swings too hard, and he hits a few balls in the air.
1-1.
Nothing wrong with hitting balls in the air.
Well, it's okay if you're Reggie Jackson or Jose Canseco.
It's just where they come down, right?
You're a little small second baseman. You have to keep it out of the air.
I notice you emphasize the small, Joe. 1-1 now, and Phillips a little late, sends that one into the dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You talked about Phillips. He was out an awful lot this year. He went on the DL on May 18th. Missed 49 games before he came back. He had a bruised lower leg. Oh, he swings through that one and sends the bat into the third base side, and he's out of there, and I guess everybody's okay to our left down here.
I'm not so sure about that.
Boy, that scares you, doesn't it?
I think they just want to get on TV. Those guys are waving it now.
So 2 strikeouts in the inning now, and the 3rd K of the game for Bruce Hurst. They're fighting over the bat now. So Phillips.
That usually happens when a guy is fooled on a pitch, and that's just an off-speed pitch that just fooled Tony Phillips, and he just let the bat go.
Here's Gallego at the plate, so Phillips will sit down, and with 2 down, Steinbach still down at first base.
It's funny, you see a lot of good hitters do that. I remember Tony Oliva did it all the time, and so does Dave Winfield.
Gallego's staying at that second base spot now because Hubbard was having hamstring problems. He couldn't play. He fouls it back. He and Glenn Hubbard shared second base and have done such a good job. There's Hubbard. I know he was very disappointed that he wasn't going to be able to play. He really gave the A's a spark when they needed it this year, not only in the field but at the plate.
Well, he was also the catalyst, as you mentioned, down the stretch when they played so well. And Tony La Russa said, this guy is going to be that everyday player for me, but with the hamstring problem that he's having, it's better to put a Mike Gallego in there because you don't lose anything.
Pitch to Mike. Breaking ball misses inside, and the count evens at 2-2. Tell you, Tony La Russa this year has been a sheer genius in moving people around, playing them at the right time, and he hopes that that will work with Tony Phillips today. Popped up. Reed coming in, Boggs coming in. Boggs will wave him away. He takes it for the 3rd out. So after the leadoff man reached by the base on balls, Hurst settles down and gets out of it. Bottom of the 2nd, no score. We go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Todd Benzinger, Ellis Burks, and Jim Rice to face Dave Stewart, who gave up a base hit in the 1st inning, and this one fouled to our left. Benzinger moved to first base on June 24th, and that's when Dwight Evans went to right field. Then Joe Morgan made the final move when he inserted Jody Reed as his everyday shortstop. Grounded foul, and the count goes to 0-2. He hasn't had a classic swing against Stewart, has he? 1-2 on Todd, and he swings through it. Leadoff man is erased. That's the 2nd strikeout of the ball game. The Goodyear Blimp America. Pilot Mark Kinnett and Bill Sullivan operating the camera high above Fenway Park. I tell you, earlier today we may not have been able to see him. It was so cloudy up there. Starting to lighten up a little bit. Ellis Burks, center fielder for the Red Sox with 1 down. Strike call. Stewart told me he thought Burks was the most underrated player on the Boston team.
Unlike any of the other starts against Boston here in Fenway Park, Dave Stewart is throwing strikes. He's getting out in front of the hitters.
Back it comes to Stewart, and very quickly there's 2 away. And tonight, following the vice presidential debate, the New York Mets take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. Action begins live at 10 o'clock Eastern tonight on ABC Sports. Al Michaels, Tim McCarver, and Jim Palmer. Boy, it looked like the Dodgers had things going their way until the 9th inning.
Line to center field, and with the outfield deep, Shelby can't make the catch as Strawberry comes in to score, and McReynolds is being waved in, and the throw to Socha. Socha blocks the plate, but without the ball, and McReynolds is saved. And with the Dodger outfield deep for Carter, it costs him, as Shelby just falls short of coming up with it.
It's like 60 minutes of a football game. You play 9 innings.
Gary Carter eventually driving in the winning run. What a collision at home between Socha and Kevin McReynolds. Jim Rice at the plate, and the count now goes 1-1. Here is a guy you wonder, Reggie, when you talk about a Mr. October, a guy who might lift his game under pressure in big situations. He might be a guy that would have that kind of series. Inside, 2-1.
There is no question about that. This guy has had an absolutely fantastically productive career. He hit over 300 several times and a couple years in a row there.
Half notion on that one. 2-2.
A couple years in a row there, he hit between 315 and 330 and 40 or more home runs and over 120 RBIs 3 years in a row and 200 base hits.
Rice got off to a very slow start this year. Foul back. He was without a home run through May. In fact, he had had 207 at bats. Looks like Denkinger may have caught that one on the mask.
Coming right at you. Ooh, that had to hurt.
Ooh, man, does that ever. There's a ball to right field, dropping in for a base hit, and Rice will make the turn. Second hit of the ball game by the Red Sox. 2 down, and Jody Reed will come up.
This has been one of the complaints against Jim Rice, but there's nothing wrong with success. They say he goes to right field too much. I think they also say that his bat may be slowing down, but there are base hits out there.
Only 2,404. That's not bad. He's hit them everywhere. Wall to wall, alley to alley. 2 down now. Rice at first. Reed up. Stewart coming inside.
That'll get your attention.
Yes, it will. Jody Reed, as I mentioned, the final piece to the puzzle. When Joe Morgan took over, he inserted Reed in the shortstop position in place of Spike Owen.
I think the interesting part of that story is that Joe Morgan went to him and told him all he wanted him to do was play good shortstop and hit around 270. Jody Reed told him, I can hit 300 if you give me the opportunity. And he almost did.
That's right. He had 293, 7 percentage points off of that. Kind of gives his team some pizzazz, doesn't he? That goes now to 3-0. One pitch, and he walked it. So now runners at first and second with 2 down, and Rich Gedman comes up.
I'm also sure that Dave Stewart wants to get out of these first couple innings as well, Gary. And Joe, he knows he has problems early in the ball game, and he wants to get it over with himself.
Well, I think probably his problem sometimes in the early innings is he doesn't concentrate quite as well as he does later in the ball game. Maybe he's a little too hyped up to start the ball game.
Gedman coming up through the year had 9 home runs and 39 RBIs. A Red Sox catcher with 2 on and 2 out. Hopping behind Gedman 1-0. One ball, 1 strike.
That ball looked like it could have been a little bit high.
That's an American League strike. That's a high fastball.
I think that's I think that's an NBA strike. I think Dave Stewart is very aware that the guy on deck is Mr. Boggs.
That's right. Boggs standing on deck. He does want to go that far. Swing, and the count goes to 1-2.
And you see Dave Stewart moving his fastball. The first strike was away. That was a fastball off the plate inside. Good pitching by Dave Stewart. Now I think you'll see this forkball and try to finish him off.
Rice knocks it down. The throw to second. He's safe at second. The bases are loaded.
A well-hit ball there by Rich Gedman, and a great play by Walt Weiss, but just hit too deep in the hole and hit too well. And let's give some credit to that runner on first base getting down there to second base.
Weiss has made all the plays, but that one was just too tough to make.
It's a high fastball, and he slashes it the other way. You see Weiss make an all-out dive to come up with it. Gets rid of the ball very quickly, but Jody Reed, being the quick runner from first base got down to second base in time.
And here is Mr. Boggs at the plate. All strike. So the bases are loaded with 2 down in the bottom of the second. Rice at third. Reed at second. Gedman reaching on the fielder's choice at first. Foul back, and he's ahead of Boggs 0-2. 1-2 to Boggs. Foul down. This is what Boggs is so tough. I mean, you try to get that third strike by him, and he'll just keep fouling it off until he gets what he wants.
There you saw what makes him a 360 hitter. He was completely overmatched with that fastball. I think he was looking for something else, but he was able to keep the bat level long enough just to get a piece of it.
Again, straight back.
But again, you see his head stays right there, and he swings basically with his hands and arms. That was a good fork ball from Dave Stewart. He didn't quite get it as low as he would want, but Wade Boggs stayed right on it.
1-2 pitch. He got it by him. He struck him out. What a jam to get out of. The bases loaded, and he strikes out the American League batting champion. We'll return to Fenway Park after this word from our local station.
Enjoy baseball memories throughout the years by ordering your copy of the 1988 World Series souvenir program. Packed with more than 90 pages of features, facts, and photos on the Fall Classic, this program is truly a collector's item. Get your souvenir program by sending a $6 check or money order to World Series Program, Box 88, Trenton, New Jersey, 08651. That's Box 88, Trenton, New Jersey, 08651. Be sure to include your proper return address.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Walt Weiss getting ready, but let's go back on that backhand stab that became a big play.
No, this is why they got Walt Weiss in the major leagues this year. They traded Alfredo Griffin to get Bobby Welsh. Look at that great play. Tony La Russa and Sandy Alderson only wanted him to hit 220. He's hit 250.
He's made all the plays. Reggie, you know he committed only 1 error after July 8th.
He's fielded flawlessly. The fans in Oakland gave him a standing ovation after that error, and he didn't know what to do. He said, well, I can't tip my hat after I made an error.
He had 58 games straight without committing an error, had 15 errors for the year. 1 ball, 1 strike on the leadoff man here in the top of the third, and that misses outside. 2-1.
Earlier this year in Baltimore, he hit a home run, and they gave him the ball back for his first major league home run, and they said, how'd you get it back? He said, well, a guy asked me for Jose Canseco's autograph.
And they drop in, hustling it. No, Evans is there. Dwight Evans makes the first out here in the top of the third, sending Weiss to the dugout, and here comes to the top of the order, Carney Lansford. Lansford called out on strikes back in the first.
Gary, one point we should make here, we're talking about Bruce Hurst. Bruce Hurst has above average fastball. It's not like he really has to spot this fastball. He has a good fastball, but he locates it very well, and that's what makes him effective.
Lansford looks at that one outside. 1-0. Well, you look at what Hurst has done. 13-2 this year in Fenway Park. To short. Reed comes up. There's 2 outs. I think the thing you also have to realize about this series, Oakland won 9 of 12 and won all 6 of them in the Oakland Coliseum, but they only faced Hurst and Clemens 1 time.
And one of those ball games I mentioned earlier, Dave Stewart beat Roger Clemens 1-0.
Henderson, who singled back in the first, is up. This guy certainly shored up an uncertain outfield, especially that center field position. Big swing. You look at Henderson, he's figured in so many transactions back and forth from Seattle to Boston to the Giants and now in Oakland. You might remember that was kind of the final piece in '86 when they acquired he and Spike Owen to make it to the World Series.
Is that called being in the right place at the right time as we take a look at Dave Stewart?
Strike 2, 1-2 on Henderson. 2 down. We're in the top of the third. And that'll take care of the A's. Henderson going down on strikes. That's the 4th strikeout of the ball game for Bruce Hurst. Game 1, the American League Championship Series. Bottom of the 3rd, Marty Barrett, Dwight Evans, and Mike Greenwell for the Red Sox against Dave Stewart, who starts him out with a strike. They always talk about pressure. I imagine there's just a little more pressure in American League Championship Series as opposed to the regular season. Adrenaline starts to flow, huh?
Gary, anyone that thinks that the playoffs are the same as the regular season has really never won a playoff. You go into the playoffs, you have to realize this is a different part of the season. You have to have your intensity level a little higher.
Barrett, who popped up the first time, swings and makes it 1-2.
You know, I've always had the feeling, just like you, Joe, that anytime a player said to me, I'm just going to play this like any other day or another game, I always felt I had an edge with him, and I was happy he said that, because under my breath I was saying, I'm going to beat you, partner.
Exactly.
Somebody told me, though, once you get to the World Series, you don't feel as much pressure as a championship series. Fouled away.
Well, I think the playoffs created that illusion. And the fact that it's so tough to get to the World Series, you're fighting so hard here in the playoffs, that once you get to the World Series, you can relax. I never felt that way. I felt like each and every game I played in postseason was special, and I may not get another opportunity, and I wanted to take advantage of that.
1-2 on Barrett, and that bounces up to the plate, and the count evens at 2-2.
And I'll say I can co-sign that, Joe. I firmly believe that. If you've ever been in a World Series and lost, then people just don't say very much about you. In 1981, we lost to the Dodgers. It was my first experience in losing a World Series, and George Steinbrenner broke the ball club up. It just didn't work when you lose.
As they say, no one remembers who finishes second.
That's right.
2-2 to Barrett. Right field, Canseco. 1 out. To get an insight on Dave Stewart, Dwight Evans had this.
Well, Dave Stewart still throws the ball extremely hard. He used to be a fastball, curveball pitcher. Now he's gone to his fastball, forkball, and an occasional slider. I'm going to try to make him get the ball up and try to make him get his fastball down, because when he throws that fastball, that hard fastball, up in the strike zone, it'll take off on you. I'm going to make him throw strikes.
Well, he struck out the first time, had a notion there. Did he go around? No, he didn't.
No, for me, in 1986, my last year with the Angels, went into Oakland and saw Eric Plunk, Jose Rijo, and Dave Stewart. They all threw above 94 miles an hour, and for me, Dave Stewart threw the hardest.
That's impressive. They talk about Plunk as being one of the outstanding relievers in the years ahead. 1-1 to Evans, and now goes to 1-2.
And there you see one of the very few curveballs Dave Stewart has thrown in this ball game. He's basically gone with the fastball and the forkball so far, but he threw Dwight Evans a good curveball there.
From the Goodyear blimp, we see this shot, and the count now goes to 2-2. We talked about Evans moving to right field. Another thing that changed, he became the guy who went to the number 3 spot in the batting order, and that seemed to solidify the batting order for Joe Morgan. And so Evans goes down for the second time via the strikeout route. That's 4 strikeouts in the ball game for Stewart, and Greenwell will come up.
39, Greenwell.
From above, we get a look at this swing and a miss.
Greenwell.
A swing and a miss looks the same from up there as it does from down on the field.
It still counts, doesn't it?
Missed the baseball.
Greenwell, who flied out to right field the first time, is up. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. No score. The Red Sox lost a great opportunity in the second with the bases jammed. Couldn't get anybody in. 1 ball, 1 strike on Greenwell. I guess in an ordinary year, this guy might be a shoe-in for the American League MVP, but a guy by the name of Canseco had a little bit better. Left field, Tony Phillips. He's there. So it's a 3-up and 3-down inning. Stewart, who had a real jam in the second, settles down here in the 3rd and gets through it easily. We played 3, no score.
An American tradition continues. During the decade of the 70s, a slugger named Reggie helped Finley's A's capture 3 consecutive World Series championships. Now home run hero Jose Canseco powers the Oakland A's as they face the Red Sox, or the Astros meet the Pirates. The tradition is here. The memories are waiting.
Top of the 4th, Fenway Park. Canseco, McGuire, and Steinbach against Bruce Hurst. Hurst thus far struck out 4, walked 1, and gave up the base hit to Henderson back in the 1st inning.
I think Jose Canseco has an opportunity. That's the bullpen we're taking a look at. An opportunity to be baseball's next superstar, the one that can put people in the seats. He's a little brash, big, strong, hits home runs, a little temperamental at times, not afraid to speak his mind. It attracts crowds. It attracts the media.
Big and strong as he is, you can be temperamental. 2-0 to Canseco, and all of a sudden now Hurst is behind 3-0. There's a breakdown on what Hurst has done thus far. The Green Monster must have shuddered on that swing.
I don't think there was any doubt.
Well, Tony La Russa turns him loose, and he does what you're supposed to do with a 3-0 pitch, have a hefty cut.
Have a hefty cut, get the bat head out in front, and get that ball, give that ball an opportunity to get into your power field.
Edmund coming back. There'll be no play on that one.
Otherwise, 3-0, you do not want to hit a single to right field.
You see a lot of guys take swings like that, 3 balls and no strikes, and they foul a ball off to the other side of the diamond. They're behind the ball. You wonder what he's thinking about. You know what Jose is thinking about, because he didn't even look at Jim Lefebvre.
Left field. That ball going back, and the ball is out of here. Canseco over the 37-foot wall. It's 60 feet high to the top of the net, and Jose has driven in the first run of the American League Championship Series.
This is what you call answering the bell. 40 home runs during the season, 42 home runs, 40 stolen bases. What are you going to do now, big fella? Well, here I'm going to show you 3 balls and 2 strikes. You see him close up a little bit, not quite as big a swing. And that ball was up on the bat, Joe Morgan. That was around the label.
Well, Bruce Hurst got the fastball in on him, but he shows how strong he is.
Greenwell knew it was gone, didn't he? He took about 2 steps and stopped. McGuire, who the first time out grounded pitcher to first. And this will be down the second base side, hustling over Barrett. There's 1 out. So 1 run is in and 1 is down, and here comes Steinbach, who walked back in the 2nd inning. Fastball by Hurst for a call strike. That home run by Canseco. He doesn't even have to get all the bat on it, does he? He's so strong he can muscle it out. Up the middle. That'll go in for the base hit.
I think with Jose's confidence, he'll tell you he hit 152. But you could say that about a lot of guys. If Joe DiMaggio played here, if Willie Mays played here, if Hank Aaron played here. If's the biggest word in the world. It's bigger than smile, and there's a mile between the S and the E. Try that one on for size.
Mike Greenwell also took offense at the fact that Canseco said he would hit 50 home runs here. Greenwell says he doesn't play here in the early part of the season when that wind is blowing straight in from left field and you can't drive a ball out of here.
3rd hit of the ball game now for the A's. Steinbach down at first. A run is in and an out has been made, and this will be the 2nd out of the inning as Baylor hit that one a mile high. Benzinger will put it away. Let's go back to Canseco's home run. The first scoring of this American League Championship Series.
He shortens his swing a little bit here and stays on the baseball. Does not pull off the ball. Stays right in there. Look at his head right on the baseball. Ball's a little bit up on the bat. Bingo. Home run.
He looked really perturbed at himself before that last swing. He was upset that he had missed on one, and boy, did he come back on in a hurry. Tony Phillips at the plate, looks inside. Phillips struck out back in the 2nd inning. Steinbach earlier was on first and was held on by Hurst after walking. Now up there with a base hit. Got the outside corner, 1-1. Just missed, and it's 2-1 now on Phillips. Crowd kind of quieted down a little bit here, this partisan Red Sox crowd, after that home run by Canseco.
Get on the wrong side of the score, you get quiet in a hurry.
2-1 on Phillips, and the count now goes to 3-1. Hurst throwing a lot of pitches. 70 pitches already by Hurst. He's throwing hard, but he misses, and he walks it. So Phillips down to first now. Steinbach goes down to second base. That's the second walk given up by Bruce Hurst, and Gallego will come up. You know, you look at the tail end of this Oakland A's batting order, they're not all that productive. If you put their numbers together, they're only hitting .226 with 14 home runs, as opposed to the Red Sox last 4 batters. They're much more productive. They've had 43 home runs and hit .274, but right now Gallego, who popped up, would like to do some damage in the tail end of this order. Little check swing, and Benzinger will put it away. He'd like to have that one back. A little pop-up down the first base line, but 1 run is scored on 2 base hits. 2 runners left on the bottom of the 4th. 1-0. Left field, that ball going back, and the ball is out of here. Canseco over the 37-foot wall. It's 60 feet high to the top of the net, and Jose has driven in the first run of the American League Championship Series. Well, there's the difference in the ball game. Jose Canseco, 43rd home run of the year. The A's with a 1-0 lead, bottom of the 4th. Leading things off is Benzinger, and this one will go down the left field line, and a great try by Lansford, and he got it. Carney Lansford made the catch.
Carney Lansford makes plays like this all over the Oakland Coliseum. There's a lot more room to roam in Oakland, and he makes diving plays of foul balls all day long. We see him here. It's over his shoulder. Now he looks to see where the stands are. So he's finding the stands, and now he looks back and finds the baseball. Great play by Carney.
Good point, though, Joe. When we go to Oakland, the foul area much larger.
Here's a guy who has struggled really the second half of the season offensively, but he never let it bother him defensively, the consummate pro.
Both of us were teammates of Carney's, and he plays the game hard every day.
Yes, he does.
Finally got some recognition this year in the All-Star game for the first time, as Ellis Burks swings through the first one. Burks, the first time up, grounded out pitcher to first. Thus far in the ball game, Stewart has given up a pair of base hits, 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Count evens now at 1-1.
Jim Rice is very high on Ellis Burks. He thinks that this is going to be the next superstar in the American League. Reggie was talking about Jose Canseco. I think he's already a star, but Ellis Burks is going to be the next one.
Grounded foul, third base side. In fact, I think Tom Kelly said the same thing, the skipper of the Minnesota Twins. He said this will be the next MVP. He's the fastest Red Sox since Tommy Harper. Burks stays in there. Burks was telling me he's having problems still with the wrist. He came into the year with an ankle problem. He had to have surgery. He recovered well from that, but the wrist still bothers him. Says it doesn't bother him until he starts swinging it back. Count stays full to 3-2.
Hitting a baseball is a very tough thing to do when you're healthy, and especially when you have problems with your hands or your arms, it becomes doubly tough to hit the baseball.
Isn't that amazing? 1 home run in the series with the A's, and this guy got it. Called, third strike. This gives us an opportunity to remind you about Saturday. ABC's college football features regional action as Ohio State meets undefeated Indiana. Or out of the Pac-10, a matchup as the Washington Huskies take on the Sun Devils of Arizona State. Mark the time down, live, 3:30 Eastern. Be sure to check your local listings for the game in your area. John Cooper's team has been up and down this year. Bill Mallory of Indiana, the only unbeaten team in the Big Ten. They've been tied once. Rice fouls that one back. Rice single back in the second inning.
Reggie, let me ask you a question here. You talked about Rice going the other way the last time up, getting a base hit. There are now 2 down. You're behind by 1 run. You still think that's a good play to go the other way for a guy like Rice, who does not run well, can't steal a base, so to speak, in this situation? Or do you think he needs to go for an extra base hit here?
I just think he needs to go for a base hit here, Joe. And you got a guy like on the mound like Dave Stewart as he fouls that pitch back. Stu now has only given up 3 hits. He seems to be in pretty good command, and you better get what he's going to give you.
But what if he makes a mistake and you're going the other way?
Then you better go to the monster, buddy.
That's what I mean. You have to look for the mistake.
1-2 on Rice, and that will make it into the stands.
I think when you're hitting in this situation, up until you get 2 strikes, I think you have to look for a ball that you can drive if you're not a guy that can run the bases well or steal bases. With 2 down and your team trailing by 1 run and you're capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark, I think your first couple of pitches you have to look for a pitcher to make the mistake and try to hurt him.
And he got him. So he strikes out 2. Erases the side in order. Still 1-0 Oakland. We'll return to Fenway Park after this word from our local stations.
The battle for the National League crown has begun. Last night, Orel Hershiser continued to pitch shutout baseball as he stymied the Mets for 8 innings. Then Gary Carter's 9th inning 2-out double gave New York a dramatic come-from-behind victory. Now the Dodgers will try to even the series in Game 2 tonight after the debate, live on ABC Sports.
Sold out Fenway Park. They set a single-season home attendance mark this year. 2.4 million plus. 56 consecutive home dates. They drew more than 30,000 fans as Walt Weiss leads things off. We're in the top half of the 5th inning. 1-0 Oakland. Weiss will be followed by the top of the order, Lansford and Henderson. Bruce Hurst still on the mound for the Red Sox. Fly ball left field going back, and that ball is off the wall. And going into second base will be Weiss. The throw coming in there, and you better hustle because when you go to second, it's not a sure thing. So Weiss leads things off with a double.
This is more of a fly ball, Gary, which gives them an opportunity to be running all the time and running to second base for a double. If you hit a line drive off the wall, you usually will be held to a single. Greenwell plays it about as well as you possibly can. There you see turns his back, and he's going to play the carom off the wall, and he'll fire it into second base. But Weiss, hustling all the way, makes it in there easily for a double.
4th hit of the ball game as now Lansford going to try to get on, and that goes foul. So Weiss will have to retreat back to second base.
This is what I like about Tony La Russa. He will do whatever he thinks is necessary to score a run or to win a ball game. You have a guy, Carney Lansford, who can shoot the ball to right field, but he wants to make sure that he gets Weiss over to third base, so he lets him go ahead and bunt.
Outside, and the count goes to 1-1.
But let me ask you, Joe, you're a managerial candidate. Do you allow Carney Lansford, who handles the bat quite well, to play the ball to the right side of the diamond, have an opportunity for a base hit, or do you bunt him?
I'm not a managerial candidate, but I will give you an answer. I believe that I would let him go ahead and shoot. I think he tried to surprise him at first. Now he's going to let him take a shot at right field. No, he squares around again.
This time it's going to roll foul again. So now it goes to 1-2. You saw Wes Gardner just a moment ago warming up with the bullpen.
Now I think he'll take that shot to right field.
I don't think he'll bunt again. I agree with you. Although in last night's ball game, I saw Franklin Stubbs bunt with 2 strikes, or try to.
1-2 to Lansford, up the middle, and it's cut off by Reed. He'll go to first, and advancing to third base on the play is Walt Weiss.
Carney is not able to bunt him over, but he gets the job done by hitting the ball back through the middle. And Weiss is able to move over to third base on the play. It's a line drive, and Hurst does a good job of slowing it down. See, he gets his glove on it. That slows it down, and it gives Jody Reed time to come over and make the play.
No, I think it should be noted that Carney Lansford did have a poor second half production-wise, but he hit a lot of balls like that. He hit into bad luck. As much luck as he had the first 2 months of the season, he had that much bad luck the second half, and there's proof of the pudding right there.
So now with 1 out, a runner at third, here's Henderson. In fact, Jim Lefevre was telling me that Carney had the type of season where everything dropped in, then all of a sudden nothing would go in for him. He was red hot, and just as ice cold at stages of the season. But as you guys have mentioned, being the consummate pro, it didn't affect his entire game. 1-0 on Henderson, third base. Boggs checks a runner, now throws to first. 2 away. So after a leadoff double, Hurst now tighten it down a little bit, gets 2 outs, and that'll bring up Canseco.
Now, I firmly believe that as we take a look up from up above, that Dave Henderson had a pull swing there. He should have forced that ball no matter what he had to do to hit that ball to the other side of the diamond.
That's the only spot he could have hit the ball other than to the pitcher that they couldn't have scored a run. The Red Sox were playing the infield back. A ground ball at shortstop would have scored a run. A ground ball at second base. So I agree with you. He should have been shooting the ball back the other way.
Canseco with a home run the last time up takes a call strike. He is 1 for 2. If you're wondering what that chant is in the background, they're yelling steroids as he comes to the plate and as when he went to left field.
And I think it's unfair, but that's what happens when people use innuendos.
Just missed. 1-1. No, they called a strike on it. Or did they? It's 1-1. One scoreboard saying now it's 1-1 on Canseco.
I'm quite sure now that Jose Canseco is going to have to hit a perfect pitch. That ball a little bit outside. He's going to have to hit a perfect pitch. He's got first base open, and yes, man behind him with 32 home runs, but he's going to be perfect, and he was right there.
And not only that, he's hit 42 home runs during the regular season, but Bruce Hurst has handled McGuire very easily in the ballgame so far. So it's a choice of 2 poisons, and I think Bruce Hurst probably would prefer to pitch to Mark McGuire if he cannot make the perfect pitch.
And he struck him out. He went after him. Did he ever? So after a leadoff double by Walt Weiss, he slams the door. Still 1-0 Oakland. Gary Bender, Joe Morgan, and Reggie Jackson as we go now to the bottom of the 5th inning. Oakland on the strength of a home run by Canseco, leading at 1-0. Jody Reed starts things off and pops it up. Walt Weiss circling around, and the leadoff man is erased. Let's go back and look at Canseco, the mechanics of his swing.
Well, in this right here, this situation, you see him really wind up on this one right here. Bruce Hurst was in a situation where he had a base open, and he refused to give Jose Canseco a ball he can handle. He made a couple of perfect pitches for strikes, then he threw a fastball up and got him to go for it.
Canseco going down on strikes. That was the 5th strikeout for Hurst. So Dave Stewart has the leadoff man, and here is Gedman. Right, remember the ball he hit that Weiss kept from going to the outfield and ended up loading the bases. 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning here in Fenway Park. Gedman hops this one up. Steinbach circling under it. 2 away. So very quickly, the first 2 men erased, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Wade Boggs.
I think, Joe, you'll agree with me that when a guy is throwing hard like Dave Stewart, you see a lot of pop-ups.
Yes, you do. That's a good barometer of how well he's throwing, and it also means that he's getting the fastball up. That means the belt high and above. You're not getting the fastball down in the strike zone.
Boggs is 1 for 2, singled and struck out. Call strike.
You're going to hear a guy tonight, Jim Palmer, who was a classic high ball pitcher. He threw hard enough to keep the ball up in the strike zone, which is really backwards pitching. If you throw that good, you can have success up there.
Boy, that one caught Steinbach in the face mask again. He's getting beat up in this game, isn't he? Stewart, by the way, grew up in the Oakland area. There is Terry. And as a teenager, he was a member of Reggie's Regiment. Foul back. A group devoted to Reggie Jackson.
Dave Stewart, I remember I used to go to the ballpark, and he would watch my car, stay with my girlfriend out there during the ball game sometimes. And then I'd give him a ride home after the game. He never said anything, and I said to him one time, I said, Dave, you want me to leave you some tickets tonight? He said, no, it's more fun to sneak in.
I expect he enjoyed staying more with your girlfriend than the car.
Or me.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Boggs. 2 down here in the 5th inning. It's full now at 3-2.
There's a great eye right there. He doesn't even offer at that pitch. He just stays right off the ball.
And Boggs, as so reminiscent of so many times the plate, just gets a piece of it and stays in there.
But as good a hitter as he is having trouble with the speed of Dave Stewart's fastball. See, he's late on that pitch, Reg.
Left center field. Going back is Tony Phillips. He's on the warning track, and it's a 3-up and 3-down inning here in the 5th inning. Oakland, after 5, with a 1-0 lead. The familiar skyline behind the right field wall here at Fenway Park. As we go to the top of the 6th, it'll be Mark McGwire, followed by Terry Steinbach and Baylor. Thus far in the ball game, McGwire 0 for 2. Fly ball hit deep to left field. Going back, Greenwell to the base of the wall. He's got room. Tonight, following the vice presidential debate, be sure to join us for Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. The Mets and the Dodgers. The Mets pulling it out last night. Action begins live at 10 o'clock Eastern. And then tomorrow night, we'll hook up for game number 2 in the ALCS. The A's and the Red Sox go after it. And we'll begin at 8 o'clock Eastern, live tomorrow here on ABC. One down, and that brings up Steinbach, who's singled and walked in the ball game.
The Red Sox are going to have to start thinking about turning that offense on. They have finished the season not scoring runs. They're not scoring runs again today. They've got some guys like Benziger, 4 for 32. Evans, 0 for 12. They're continuing not to score, and they're just a couple of innings away of having Mr. Eckersley get up in the bullpen.
Boy, down the stretch, they had 3 1-0 ball games they lost. Could not score, and right now that's where they find themselves. Steinbach looking at the call strike. It's 0-2.
Well, one of the things that happens in a close ball game is you usually have one big swing that turns the game around. Now the A's are leading 1-0. When 2 pitchers are throwing as well as these guys are, you're not usually going to get 3 or 4 hits in a row to manufacture a run. So you either have to steal a run here or there or get it on one big swing.
And of course, the Red Sox are not known for stealing runs as far as on the base paths. As we mentioned, they had only 65 stolen bases. That was the low.
That's why they were shut out a lot toward the end, because when the guys aren't hitting consistently, they have no other way to score runs.
Grounded foul, third base side, and the count stays 1-2.
A lot that you do not want to do, though. There's a happy little Red Sox, or because she doesn't understand the score.
Either that or she knows something. They're going to pull it out. Third base, Boggs, nice backhand. You know, one thing that they don't realize about Wade Boggs is he works hard in the field, not only at the plate.
Well, Boggs has taken a lot of pride the last couple of years in his defense. He's really worked at it, and he wanted to be a complete player, and I think he's done an excellent job. As we take a look here, this ball is down the line and it's deep. He backhands it deep behind the line, makes a long throw. That's not a short throw, fellas. It's a pretty long throw there.
Call strike now to Baylor with 2 down. Baylor 0 for 2, called out on strikes back in the 2nd inning. Evens at 1-1. If Baylor would get into the World Series, he'd be the first guy in history to play on 3 different teams in 3 consecutive World Series. 2-2 on Baylor, center field. Ellis Burke seems to be camped in the exact spot he wants. It's a 3-up and 3-down inning. We go now to the bottom of the 6th inning. Still 1-0 Oakland.
You may have heard about them, even read about them.
Are you the real Crocodile Dundee?
You got him. But you've never seen them.
If you think that's incredible, watch this.
Until now.
She's a local celebrity. Amazing.
John Davidson and Christina Ferrari host the premiere of Incredible Sunday this Sunday night.
Marty Barrett, first ball hitting left field. Phillips comes in. He's there. So Barrett starts things off here in the 6th with a fly ball to left field.
4.
Stewart thus far in this ball game has given up only 3 hits, none in the last 3 innings. He struck out 6, protecting that 1-run lead.
Now, I think you'll agree with me, Joe. Someone for the Red Sox offensively has to step forward and get something done, whether it's a base hit or a stolen base or something to fire this ball club up. And the best thing really to do it is a double in the alley or a triple or something like that, just to get things going.
Evans hasn't gotten it going yet. He struck out twice in this game. Right center field, racing back is Henderson. He can't get it, and it's going to go in for a ground rule double. And that's exactly what you were just talking about, Reggie. They needed something in the alley, and Dwight Evans got it done.
Something has to happen. Somebody has to be a spark plug. Someone has to be a catalyst. And this is where the experience factor comes in. Dwight Evans takes this pitch here to right center field, and the ball curves and hooks away from Dave Henderson. Ball bounces over the fence.
As an end result, a ground rule double, and there is the tying run at second base with one down. Fourth hit of the ball game by the Red Sox. Here is Greenwell, 0 for 2.
But he's hit the ball pretty well a couple times in the ball game.
And listen to the crowd. They have come alive. Outside.
But I also think this is when Dave Stewart is at his best. When he's presented a challenge like this to hold the lead. The one thing Paul Molitor said in the opening was that if he gets ahead, he can hold it usually.
Got the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike on Greenwell.
Was that a reputation strike or was that a strike?
I don't know. Kind of the way we started the game, wasn't it? La Russa's team with a 1-0 lead. 2-1. On deck, Benzinger. Misses. 3-1. He walked it. So 2 are on with 1 out. Benzinger, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout back in the second inning.
I'm sure Dave Stewart did not want to walk Mike Greenwell, but he also wanted to make the pitch that he wanted, moving the ball in, out, up, and down. I don't think he's real unhappy about the fact that he did walk Greenwell in this situation, because now he has a double play set up on the infield, and he also has a right-handed hitter coming up after Benzinger.
That being Ellis Burks. So 2 runners are on now with 1 down. Bottom of the 6th. Boy, he went after a high one there.
Went after a bad ball right there, Gary.
I think what we're seeing here is Dave Stewart, when he gets in trouble, he goes to his best pitch, or what he thinks is his best pitch in that situation. And he's gone to the fastball and just the forkball. He's only using 2 pitches.
1 strike on Benzinger, and he misses outside.
That is the way he does pitch in tough situations, Joe. I've watched him all season long, and he's going to go to those 2 pitches. Going to try to set you up with that fastball and get you out with the forkball.
You can see now at the 100 pitch mark. Weiss. They got both of them, and they get out of the jam. So they're going to leave the base runner on. Still 1-0. We'll return to Fenway Park after this word from our local stations.
IBM presents You Make the Call. With a runner on second, a batter hits a ball back to the pitcher, who traps the runner off second base. After throwing the ball, he accidentally collides with a runner. Can he do this? You make the call. If he does not have the ball, a fielder cannot interfere with a runner, even if it's unintentional. If you said that the runner is awarded third base, you made the right call.
Fenway Park, Boston. The Red Sox have had a couple of big opportunities get away from them. They had the bases loaded in the second, couldn't score. And then the twin killing by Benzinger hitting into the double play takes them out of the inning in the 6th. Top of the 7th, and Tony Phillips at the plate. Call strike. He'll be followed by Gallego and Weiss, the bottom of the order, against Bruce Hurst, who's given up 1 run on 4 hits. He has struck out 5 and walked 2. 0-2.
I think also you could say the difference in the ball game is Dave Stewart had a couple of opportunities where he shut the Red Sox down. He struck out Boggs with the bases loaded, and he got Benzinger to hit into a double play and scoring opportunities.
Staying away from the base on balls, too, which was something that plagued him. Center field, Burks hustling in, and a long run. He got it. It didn't look like it was going to be that tough a play. And all of a sudden, Burks realized he had to really get up and go.
This is where he gets the tag that he has an opportunity to be a superstar. He gets a great jump on that ball, keeps his eye on the ball. He keeps his eye on the ball, and Joey keeps the glove up so that it doesn't hit the ground first and jar the ball loose.
Iago first ball hitting back to Hurst, and very quickly 2 away. I tell you, the Red Sox have to be a little bit nervous. This is what was happening down the stretch, and they lost 6 of 7. Not able to score some runs, not able to get this offense going. Right now, as Steinbach gets ready to resume the catching duties, Weiss will come up.
Well, I think the other part of this scenario is the fact that the Red Sox know that Dave Stewart can shut them out. He beat them 1-0 in Oakland in his last start against the Red Sox. So I think they are aware that he is capable of shutting them out the rest of the way. And I think you're going to see some guys start to go for home runs pretty quickly.
Weiss, who doubled back in the 5th, 1 for 2, comes up with 2 down, and he takes a strike.
I just hope they're not the wrong guys to go for home runs, Joe, where they start succumbing to the pressure and trying to do it by themselves. That's the thing that has happened to this ball club. You can't do that.
Right field, Dewey Evans is there, and it's a 3-up and 3-down inning. We go now to the bottom of the 7th inning. Bruce Hurst still trailing by 1. From high above, that looks like some kind of an insect, but that's the Charles River and Harvard crew working out. There's the play by Burks just a moment ago, and Burks will lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that's the way it usually is. You make a great defensive play and you lead off the next inning. Short center field, and Henderson started to come in and waits on it, and the leadoff man is out.
He popped that ball up there to me, Joe, and it looked like it was a ball for him to drive. That ball was down and out over the plate, but he was lazy with the bat. He didn't get the bat with authority through the strike zone, and he just lazily popped that ball up. Should have had a better cut at that ball.
It looked like a defensive swing rather than an offensive swing.
Well, what was you talking about? Sometimes you can't just turn it on and turn it off. And right now, the Red Sox have not turned it on. Here's Jim Rice, who's singled back in the 2nd and struck out in the 4th.
I think Jimmy Rice, with his experience, the fact that he's been here before, been on this ball club a long time, since 1975, he's had a tough year adjusting to the fact where he really lost his position to Mike Greenwell. He's got an opportunity to stand up and be counted right now, and I'm sure that's on his mind. He's one of the few Red Sox that has been swinging the bat well in the month of September. He hit 5 home runs.
Well, again, Stewart is behind 3-0, the 2nd consecutive batter he's gone behind on, 3-0.
And they have not taken advantage of it.
Here he goes, same scenario, 3-1. This is a pitch that Burks skied out on the last time.
And there you see the difference between La Russa and Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan plays a conservative type game.
He walked it.
Whereas we saw earlier in the ballgame, Tony La Russa would let Canseco go for the home run or go for the 3-0 pitch to try to tie the game.
We're going to have a pinch runner now. Jim Rice will leave after walking, the 3rd walk given up in the ball game. Kevin Romine, number 18, comes on to pinch run for Jim Rice in the 7th with 1 down, and Jody Reed coming up. Bob Watson alongside Tony La Russa.
You're not scoring a lot of runs, and this guy is swinging the bat well for you. You've got a close ball game. Do you take him out of the game now, Joe?
Well, you know he's going to get at least 1 more at bat because he's hitting here in the 7th inning, and he figures to come to bat again in the 9th inning. And I guess the question is, do you want him to get that extra at bat, or do you pinch run and try to score the run here with speed?
I want the extra at bat.
I agree.
Reed is 0 for 1. He walked back in the 2nd. Stewart with a tying run at first. 1-1 pitch to Reed. He hit him. So Reed will move to first. Romine will go to 2nd. And Rich Gedman is scheduled up.
I think we have a case here of Dave Stewart overthrowing his fastball. I think he was trying to reach back and get a little extra, and the fastball gets away from him.
Well, our radar gun clocked that at 91 miles per hour. Reed now at first, Romine the pinch runner at second, one down. Gedman, who is singled and popped up. Gedman, that little helicopter swing we were talking about that is very indicative of a lot of the Red Sox pitchers or batters. Here's Eric Plunk and Rick Honeycutt. Plunk is the right-hander, Honeycutt the left-hander.
Still a little early for Eckersley.
2-2 on Gedman. Center field coming in. Henderson fell down. The ball hits in front of him and the bases will be loaded.
That ball was going to be caught because you saw Romine just stood there at shortstop and didn't even move.
Well, we've had rain all day yesterday and today, and it may have caused this difficulty.
Oh, I'm sure it did. You see Henderson fall down there, and this could be what the Red Sox need.
Here's Romine.
He didn't think the ball was going to be caught. He heads back to second base. Now the ball falls in after the slip.
I don't think there's any question it would have been cut.
Yes.
So now the bases are jammed with one down.
They call that a base hit. Those are things you can't figure.
Fifth hit of the ball game by the Red Sox. Boggs is up. Boggs with one base hit and 3 trips to the plate.
No, Gary, when you talk about, I guess, handicapping a game or who's the better team, you put things on paper and the experts say this. The coaches and baseball people say that. You can't figure in a wet field. You can't figure in weather. You can't figure in a guy having cold hands and not being able to grip the baseball.
Tony La Russa took a long time coming out of the dugout trying to give Plunk and Honeycutt some time to get ready for this difficult situation.
I think he's going to bring the left-hander in the pitch to Boggs.
And so a change will be made. We're going to be back after this pitching change. The base is loaded for the Red Sox. The left-hander, Rick Honeycutt, in relief of Dave Stewart. To get an inside look, here's Milwaukee Brewers, Paul Molitor.
Rick Honeycutt is an experienced pitcher who will be called upon in this series to get some key outs late in the ball game. He's very tough on left-hand hitters because with his motion, he has the ability to make the left-handers have a tendency to throw their shoulder out and not stay in on the pitch. He has tremendous movement on his fastball. It's a tremendous sinker. We'll see a lot of ground balls with Rick out there on the mound.
So Honeycutt comes in relief of Stewart, who goes 6 1/3, giving up 5 hits, walked 3, struck out 6, and then he had that very important hit batsman, Reed. And it all started out this inning very, very simply with a fly ball to center, a walk, a hit, batsman, a single by Gedman. So at third base will be Romine. Reed's at second. Gedman down at first. Boggs 1 for 3 in the ball game. Here in the 7th, trying to do something about the 1-0 shutout they're facing.
All right, what I think we see here with La Russa bringing Honeycutt in is he wants the ground ball. He needs the ground ball. He wants a guy in that's going to throw the sinker, and he also brings a guy in that has a chance to strike Boggs out. But the sinker is what he really wants. If you hit the ground ball from Boggs, you will get the double play because he doesn't run very well.
Strike caught the outside corner.
They're playing for a double play as well because the infield is back. The third baseman is playing halfway. Shortstop, second base, first baseman are all back in double play depth, so they're going to give him a run if he can put that ball in play anywhere else or go for double play.
They're also a little deeper because he doesn't run as well. Normally you have to play a little shallow at second and short to make the double play, but they're back deep and they're still going for 2.
The left-hander misses outside. Honeycutt, of course, acquired in the last month of last season in a trade with the Dodgers. Kind of a finesse left-hander as you look at Romine down at third.
Got Wade Boggs again in a situation with the bases loaded. He struck out, failed once. It's not a good bet that he's going to do that again.
Boy, this A's bullpen has been something. They recorded a major league record 64 saves this year. 1-1 to Boggs. Left field. Tony Phillips makes the catch. Romine tags up at third, and he'll score the tying run.
Honeycutt gets the ball up, and Boggs is able to get the ball in the air, and it's deep enough to be able to score the tying run.
Well, you knew for one thing, Joe, as they were talking about some batters pull off the ball against Rick Honeycutt. When a guy hits 360, the last time he pulled off a ball is when he made a right turn at a golf course.
Here is Marty Barrett, 0 for 3. So the RBI sacrifice fly by Boggs to left ties it up. 1 apiece. 2 away. Runner still at first and second. Romine scoring as the pinch runner. So Rice really started all with the base on balls. Then the hit batsman. Gedman with a base hit. And then the sacrifice RBI by this guy, Wade Boggs. It's a good guy to have at the plate that makes contact in that situation.
I'm looking at Tony Phillips in left field, and he's playing a little deeper than they normally do here in Boston. I'm saying that because usually they have a shot at throwing the runner out at second from second base if there's a base hit that way.
That could be tough. Weiss charging, no, and a high throw, but McGuire stays with it. And so that will end the inning. That ball could have been some problems there, but they get it out. But coming back to tie it up, the Red Sox 1-1 after 7.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Good afternoon. I'm Jim McKay, and here's our expert commentator, Mickey Mantle. A beautiful day, Mick, and as you know, these boys are 12 years old and younger.
I think that these kids are playing a little bit better ball than we did then. They have a little better equipment. They have the helmets. We didn't have a helmet, and it's pretty hard to hang in there against Big John.
Okay.
But we enjoyed it very much. I'm anxious to see these boys.
Well, why don't we meet some of them right now, specifically the teams that will battle it out for the championship of the Little League World. First, the champions of the West from Santa Clara, California, the first baseman.
Ron Smith.
Here is the little second baseman.
Joe Chatty.
Playing at shortstop today.
Joe Cesario.
And now here's the third baseman.
Jeff Walsh.
Moving to the outfield now in left field.
Gabriel Reyes.
In center field.
Dave Presbila.
And in right field.
Carney Lansford.
The batter is Carney Lansford at number 9, playing right field for Santa Clara. This is Jim McKay reporting. Mickey Mantle is by my side and will be all the way. 1-1. Still Mickey. The ball game underway, and the pre-game excitement.
Oh, it sure is. I expected maybe about 5,000 or 10,000 people out here, Jim. I didn't know they had crowds like this at Little League games.
They sure do for this one. Another ball, 2-1.
I noticed one thing that they've learned already. The catcher jerks the pitches from outside over the crossing plate.
Doesn't take them long to learn that one. It's 2-2 now to Kerry Lansford, the first batter in the ball game, the Little League World Series final championship game. Lansford, 5'1", 108 pounds. Solid wood on that, but the right fielder is coming over. And hauling it in is Lin Chen Leong in right field for the Republic of China. One away, nobody on.
The Goodyear Blimp America. They've been at events every place in the country for the past 60 years. Mark Kynette, the pilot, starting to clear a little bit here over Fenway Park as Carney Lansford starts one off into the left field line. It's going down to the corner, fair ball. Lansford going into second, and he'll pull up with a stand-up double. First ball hitting Lansford, leading things off here in the 8th inning. That'll bring up Dave Henderson, who is 1 for 3 in the game.
Carney Lansford is a free swinger, as we mentioned earlier. He doesn't take a lot of pitches, especially for a leadoff man. But as Reggie said before, he's been swinging the bat well, just not finding holes. He found one there down the left field line, and he leads off with a double.
Excuse me, man.
Gary had said earlier, not a lot of production from the bottom of the order of the Oakland A's. Here you see it again, the top of the order. Lansford leads off with a double, and here come Henderson and Canseco. Seems like those guys hit every inning.
That's the 5th hit off of Bruce Hurst. Henderson has one of those coming back in the first. So the go-ahead run down at second base now for the A's. That'll make it into right field for a base hit. Lansford's being waved in by Lefevre. Evans with a bazooka for an arm, but he's going to go to second with a throw. So the A's quickly take the lead back. Base hit, RBI for Henderson.
This is what I call perfect execution. Dave Henderson going to right field. If he doesn't get a base hit and he doesn't do the job by getting a base hit, hey, he hits a ground ball to the right side of the diamond, you wind up with a man on third base and the major league RBI leader coming up in Jose Canseco. But he has success. It happens to get out there into the outfield. Bingo, base hit. I get the ball to the right side, and I get an RBI.
I think that's something, excuse me, Reggie, I think that's something that happened last time. He made a mistake by pulling the ball to the third baseman in that situation, so he goes the other way this time. That's Bill Fisher, the pitching coach for the Sox, coming out. He's going to talk to Bruce Hurst.
One of the guys warming up the bullpen is Lee Smith.
I don't think they'll use Lee Smith in this situation. They're already 1 run down. He is their stopper. He is their Dennis Eckersley.
And the other one is Bob Stanley.
I think Stanley would come in this situation before Lee Smith would.
Well, right now, no one's coming in as Morgan retreats to the dugout. So after getting this game knotted up, all of a sudden the A's come right back. First 2 men. Double by Lansford. And then Henderson singles. He's home and nobody's out, and Canseco's up.
Don't be surprised if Tony La Russa doesn't put a hit and run on or something. Start Dave Henderson in this sequence.
Big cut, trying to pick up his 2nd home run of this game.
Jose Canseco up?
Yes, he's done it a lot this year. Jose hits the ball out of the ballpark, but he has hit and run quite a few times this year with Jose Canseco.
1 strike on Canseco. McGuire due next. 2-1 Oakland in the top of the 8th inning. This could be a double play ball. Reed to Barrett. To Bensinger.
This is your classic 6-4 to 3 double play. And you see Jose hustles it out. He almost beats it at first base, but that was your routine double play. Ground ball is shortstop in that situation.
Well, he is human, right?
Right, and that's why during the year they did hit and run sometimes. And I think it's a good play, even with a slugger like Jose Canseco. He hit 43 home runs, but he batted about 600 times. So there are a lot of other times he's not going to hit the ball out of the ballpark. You use him to move runners along, use him to get guys in motion.
There's some managers, and I played for John McNamara, he even hit and run with me once or twice because he thought, even though I struck out a lot, it made me concentrate more and put the bat on the ball in some important situations.
I'm a believer in that myself.
1 ball now on Mark McGuire. 0 for 3 in the ball game. Now it's 2-0. Another thing about Canseco you mentioned, Joe, was how hard he legged it down to first. That's not surprising. He hustles all the time. Some of those big power guys once in a while go through the motions. Slow breaking curveball caught the outside corner. 2-1.
You see he's feeding McGuire a steady diet of all-speed pitches, but he's making sure he gets them all away from McGuire. He's been able to do that throughout the ball game.
3-1.
Be interesting to see what he does here now, Joe. He's kept that ball pretty much away from Big Mac.
I think he'll go away again. I don't think he'll risk coming inside, even though he's
3-2.
That was a screwball.
Turned that ball over. The bottom fell out of that baby.
I tell you, McGuire can hit the breaking ball extremely well. He'll just mash it usually.
You see he's set up on the outside and a good turned over fastball, good pitch.
Got him. So Hurst loses the lead, but he's able to keep from further damage in occurring. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Oakland by 1. Well, we're going to have a new catcher as you take a look at the Charles River here. What a beautiful setting this is. Boston, of course, known for its outstanding universities. And what a sports town this is, as the day is starting to clear and as Ron Hasse will come in place of Terry Steinbach. Hasse, one of 3 catchers, which is something I want to bring up. Prior to the start of this championship series, Tony La Russa decided when he put Hubbard off the 24-man roster, he would go with 3 catchers. He's the only one of the 4 teams in the championship series to have 3 catchers.
Well, what that does is not really adding just another catcher to your roster. It adds speed to your lineup, because what it does is give him an opportunity to pinch run for Ron Hasse or Terry Steinbach with a faster runner and still have catching help sitting on the bench. I think La Russa is going to come out, and we might see Dennis Eckersley here. He's made the call to the bullpen, and I'm sure that's who we're going to see, Dennis Eckersley, to start off the 8th inning here against the Red Sox. And we also might get a chance here, since we didn't get a chance to point out that Rick Honeycutt did a great job there in the last inning.
So Honeycutt will leave, and the guy who had 45 saves this year, Dennis Eckersley, will come on. Dennis Eckersley comes on, and look at those numbers. 45 saves, one off of tying the major league record set by Dave Righetti, as Dwight Evans will lead things off. Greenwell and Benzinger to follow. We mentioned Hasse, the new catcher.
Because that's a defensive change is exactly what that is, Gary. I guess you could also ask, why didn't he bring in Eckersley to start the inning? He probably wasn't ready, so they gave him more time.
I tell you, they don't miss very many tricks, do they? So Eckersley, who has just been sensational, replaces Honeycutt, who went 2/3 of an inning, and as Joe pointed out, did a very good job. Evans swings through that one, and it's 2 strikes.
One thing about Eckersley, he doesn't fool around. He gets the ball and comes right after you. It's great to play behind a guy like that.
He comes into a game, and I know his teammates say that he creates a kind of an electricity. Really picks up the ball club. 0-2 on Evans, and he wastes no time erasing a leadoff man here in the 8th inning.
Be interesting to me to see where the defense plays here. I was talking to Dave McKay before the game, and he said with a 1-run lead, he is going to be playing his outfield deep. He's in charge of the outfield and controlling the defense. He said so last night, Tommy Lasorda, he thought, had his outfield playing properly, playing deep, protecting that 1-run lead. You don't want the ball hit over your head. We'll see what happens.
That was a big out, and now we may have another big out, as on the first ball, Greenwell to left field, and Phillips, struggling, comes up with it. 2 up and 2 down. Eckersley has just been incredible. You remember, he was the last 20-game winner for the Red Sox until Clemens accomplished the feat.
There you see why he thought he was under it, but apparently he was not, because the wind blows it toward right field, and Tony Phillips makes a good play. The flag is blowing into right center field at this time.
That's that old east wind they talk about that comes over that left field green monster. 2 down now. Here's Benzinger, 0 for 3, hitting that big double play back in the 6th inning.
And as Reggie says, Eckersley just goes right after you.
He throws strikes, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
There you see the flag blowing toward right field.
Got the outside corner. 2 strikes now. So Eckersley trying to slam the door here in the bottom of the 8th inning. How close is that to us? That looks like it's right above us, doesn't it? There it is.
Trick TV.
McGuire will charge. Eckersley covering, and it's a 3 up and 3 down inning. So Eckersley wasted absolutely no time erasing the side here in the bottom of the 8th. We go to the 9th. Oakland 2, Boston 1. We go now the top of the 9th in game 1, as Ron Hasse, who came in the previous inning to replace Terry Steinbach as the catcher, leads things up, and first ball hitting right field. Evans, 1 out. Baylor to follow now, and then comes Tony Phillips. Hasse has been a real addition to this ball club, playing on some bad knees, but tonight, I want to remind you again, Game 2, the Mets and the Dodgers following the vice presidential debate. Action a little bit later than usual, 10 o'clock Eastern, right here on ABC.
No, I think the only weakness that the Oakland A's may have is that their record is under 500 against left-hand pitchers. They're 22 and 25 against lefties. They knocked this fellow off today. From here on in, they're all pluses.
Well, not also to forget how tough he is in Fenway. 13 and 2, 25 and 6 over 2 years, and the Red Sox just aren't scoring a bunch of runs. Baylor looks at that one low, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Baylor thus far in the ball game 0 for 3.
One thing to reflect on the A's record against left-handed pitchers, Reggie, you know they have a lot of strong right-handed hitters, but a lot of right-handed hitters do not hit left-handed pitching as well as they do right-handed pitching.
2-2 on Baylor. Missed with it. 3-2. Boy, it's something when you got Baylor, who can come in as a DH from the right-hand side, and Parker, who can DH from the left-hand side. That's some experience, isn't it? Had a notion, and he walked him. So with 1 down, Baylor trots down to first. Then that'll bring up Phillips.
And they're going to pinch run for Baylor. There you see Joe Morgan.
Still haven't brought anybody out of the dugout as of yet. A little bit late arriving.
You'll see.
The question is, do you use Luis Polonia
or Javier?
Or Stan Javier? It's Polonia.
Yep, that's who it's going to be.
Well, this will be interesting because he didn't start Polonia thinking that Bruce Hurst would negate his speed on the base pass. Now they have a 1-run lead here in the 9th, and they're trying to add some insurance. Will Tony La Russa give him an opportunity to try to steal second base? What do you think, Reg?
I say he'll take a chance and go for it. They've been an aggressive team all year long. I don't think they're going to change now.
And I think you have an opportunity to do it because you have a 1-run lead.
He has 24 stolen bases. He's been caught 9 times, he being Polonia. A's have 5 guys who have stolen 20 or more bases.
When I watch Bruce Hurst and his movement to first base,
Third base side, and it's going to go foul.
As I was saying, when I watch Bruce Hurst and his move to first base, I see the only way he could fool you actually is with the upper part of his body. If you really watch him closely from the waist down, which is what you should do as a base stealer, you should be able to read where he's going just by his hips and his leg.
That's easy for an expert like you to say, Joe, because you're one of the best all-time base runners. But a guy like him, you know, he's going to give you a couple of moves to set you up. Then he'll take a fellow that's not quite have as much experience as you or be able to read as well as you do, and then give him that A move.
Ball strike 2. By the way, Getman this year has thrown out 39% of the guys trying to steal that base on him. 28 of 71.
By watching Polonia, I really believe that he does have him fooled. I was watching just his movement at first base on Hurst's first movement. You have to react on the pitcher's first move, whether either you go back or you move towards second. You see he's going back.
Ball strike inside corner, and Phillips is the second out of the inning. You could see Polonia that time was really confused trying to get away from first.
What I noticed with a guy like this is you see a guy sitting there on his heels. He's not going to run from his sitting on his heels. You see a guy get up on his toes, then you be careful. Then he's going to make a move.
That's 7 strikeouts now for Hurst, trying to close it down here in the 9th and hope for some help in the bottom of the inning. Gallego 0 for 3 at the plate.
One of the things you have to do as a base stealer, especially in this situation now they're 2 down, if you can't read the pitcher, then you have to guess, and you take off on his first move. I don't believe in stealing bases that way, but it does work if you can't read the pitcher, and you want to be aggressive from first base. You have to guess with him.
Center field. Burks going back. And Hurst has just pitched his 8th complete game of the year, hoping for help here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Well, the Harvard Crimson here in support of their Red Sox as we go now to the bottom of the 9th. Ellis Burks, Spike Owen coming out of the dugout will follow, and then Jody Reed. Wait a minute, they did have Spike Owen. Now it's Romine back out there.
Well, Romine is in the ball game because he pinch ran for Jim Rice. Now, when his time at bat comes, they'll decide what to do.
Spike Owen was out there earlier, though, swinging a bat.
Yeah, well, it depends on what Ellis Burke does here. If Burks gets on base and they want to play for the bunt, they may go ahead and let Romine bunt him over. Or if he doesn't get on base, then Joe Morgan will have to make a decision. He'll either have to bring in Larry Parrish to go for the long ball, or he'll go with the left-hander against the right-handed pitching Eckersley by bringing in Spike Owen.
So a little strategy here in the bottom of the 9th. Eckersley went through the 8th inning in 1-2-3 fashion, and now with Burks ahead 2 strikes. 2 strikes now on Burks. He popped it up. Calling him off is Gallego. Now he gives up to Canseco, and he puts it away. 1 away. Now let's see. Romine's headed back to the dugout, and we'll guess along with you as to who's going to come out.
Well, he's going to go with Larry Parrish because he's going to try to play big ball here. He's going to try to get a guy that's capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark to get him right back in the ball game and tie the score.
Boy, this guy was quite an acquisition. He was released by the Texas Rangers. Came in and gave him a real lift. So Larry Parrish now pinch hitting with 1 down.
This just isn't a very easy assignment because he's facing Eckersley, a big side-wheeling right-hander. He drops down from the side there, throwing very hard. He's had a great year. This is not an easy assignment for Larry Parrish.
I don't think pitch hitting is an easy assignment anyway, Reggie.
Well, look at the day it is, too, Joe. A little cool.
Right.
Larry's not 25 years old anymore, and I'm sure he's been up in that tunnel trying to get ready for this time at bat.
Well, he's 34 to be exact. Lee Smith hoping that he becomes a factor before the day is over. Larry Parrish was released by Texas, as we mentioned, signed as a free agent. He homered in 3 consecutive games, 4 of 5 in the beginning of September. He's had some big games in his 6 years with Texas, 2 years over 100 RBIs. So with 1 out, Parrish this year in a pinch hitter is 2 of 5 for a 400 average. Strike call. Boy, he just doesn't miss the plate, does he?
Well, I think this is a situation where he was cold coming off the bench. He wanted to take a look at 1 pitch. Now he's in the hole.
In a deeper hole, 0-2 as Hasse gets nicked on that one. Eckersley doesn't give you much time to look at anything.
Well, you wonder here, would you rather have Jimmy Rice hitting after having a few at-bats today, a warm Jim Rice, or would you rather have a cold Larry Parrish coming off the bench facing the #1 reliever in baseball right now?
Well, as we talked when they pinch ran for Jim Rice, we knew he would have 1 more at-bat in this ball game. And I agree with you. I think they probably would rather have a warm Jim Rice, a guy that's had a few at-bats in the ball game, than having to send up Larry Parrish cold off the bench and say hit the ball out of the ballpark.
But he's got 1 swing left.
0-2 on Parrish. Can sidearm this time, and the count goes 1-2. At an ocean, 2-2.
One of the things that Eckersley does so well is when he gets ahead of you, he usually closes you out.
On a 2-2, called 3rd strike. 2 down. And so Joe Morgan and his troops are 1 out away from losing game 1. Jody Reed will come up. Reed thus far has walked, been hit by a pitch and popped out. Eckersley now has retired 5 in a row.
Not an easy at bat right there for Larry Parrish, facing that big leg kick and that sidearm wheelhouse motion.
Eckersley this time starts him out with a ball. 45 saves for Eckersley, trying to close the door here and head into game 2 tomorrow night. Left field. It's going to drop into the corner. Phillips into the corner. Digs it out. Going into second with a headlong slide is Reed.
Well, like Yogi says.
Reed gets out in front and he pulls it into the corner. You could see Tony Phillips was playing pretty much straight away. He hustles over, makes a very good play out of this ball, and makes it a close play at second base. There you see the reaction by Tony La Russa. And he knows the tying run will be at second base.
Reed at second. 2 down. Rich Gedman, who has 2 base hits in the ball game, calls strike.
Well, you see that funny look on Tony La Russa's face. He's not used to seeing Dennis Eckersley do that kind of thing. This club was 82-6 entering the 7th inning with a lead.
1 strike on Gedman. Misses outside. 1-1. Bottom of the 9th inning. 2-1 Oakland. The tying run at second. Joe Morgan's team with 2 outs trying to hang on. Swinging a foul tip. 1-2 on Gedman. 2-2. Start of the inning, he got Burks. Then he got Parrish. Reed, then with a double. Full count.
And he's tried to put him away with the fastball, and he's missed twice.
And this is called excitement.
And he's gone away twice, Reggie. Now he's got the inside opened up if he wants to take it.
Full count, and he walked him.
I can honestly say that I'm starting to get into it myself. You got a full crowd here in Boston, Beantown. Such tradition, the Green Monster. 2-1 in the 9th inning. Eckersley on the mound. I love it.
And who would you like to have at the plate any more so than Wade Boggs if you're the Red Sox? And here he comes. He's already driven in the only run. He is single back on the first. Runners at first and second, 2 out. Strike call.
See, this is a situation, Gary, where I said if you have 3 catchers, you can use a pinch runner. And now they're going to pinch run for Gedman at first base.
So Gedman will come out of the ball game. Ed Romero has come in as the pinch runner. So Romero at first. Reed at second. Another strike on Wade Boggs. Strike 2.
And you see Eckersley thinks that his fastball is his best pitch in this situation. He's gone right to it.
Now, wait a minute. Morgan is on the field. He's conferring with John Shulock, the right field umpire.
The only thing I could think of is that he thinks Eckersley is not stopping, or he's quick pitching his hitters. I'm not sure, but that's the only thing I can think of.
This guy has 2 strikes on him, but he's the best 2-strike hitter in baseball.
Here we go. 0-2. Foul back. Boy, just kept that one off the end of the bat.
And here's an opportunity again for Boggs. He did the job last time up with the sacrifice fly. League's leading hitter, baseball's leading hitter at 366. You've got to do the job here. Your team expects you to do it. You've got to stand up and be counted.
Mike, a statement in the early part of this championship series. He struck him out, and Dennis Eckersley gets out of a big, big jam. And the Oakland A's have taken a 1-0 lead in the American League Championship Series, as Eckersley again coming through down the stretch. 2-1. So I think what's important about that is it could be a real confidence shaker had Eckersley not closed it out here with all that's remaining in front of him.
Well, I think the Oakland A's did what they had to do. They came in here. They've already won 1 ball game. I think if you would have said to them, if we go to Boston, can we win 1 and go home 1-1, we'll be satisfied. Now I think they will not be satisfied unless they go home 2-0.
Dave Henderson with a game-winning RBI. You're looking at Henderson, number 42. Canseco hitting the home run back in the 4th inning. as Eckersley coming in relief. The third pitcher used. It was Stewart, Honeycutt, and Eckersley coming through to do the job, and really getting right down to a tough situation with 2 on and 2 out.
They're certainly happy. They certainly deserve that win. 2-1 ball game here in Fenway Park. That could be their only Achilles heel, left-handed pitching. That's the only spot where you see them not having success. They're 22-25 against left-handers.
And that was a home run by Canseco that gave him the lead way back in the 4th inning. The final score, Oakland 2, Boston 1. Tonight, following the vice presidential debate, the New York Mets take on the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 2 of the National League Championship Series. And tomorrow night, the A's and the Red Sox go at it again in Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. Action begins live at 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night on ABC Sports. For Reggie Jackson and Joe Morgan, I'm Gary Bender. The blimp provided by Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. We'll talk to you tomorrow night beginning at 8 o'clock from Fenway Park in Boston. 2-1 Oakland over Boston.